The vibe, the bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK, born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the Just Knickin' It weekly show. I'm your host, Stephanie, a.k.a. Queen. And as always, we have a lot to talk about on this show. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. We'll talk about OG Anonuby. He's played 2 games already. You know, has he met our expectations? Are we seeing things that we didn't expect from him? Yeah, we'll chop it up about him. For those who want to give their last words, so to speak, about RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, we'll give you the opportunity to do that. We may even open up the phone lines if there's some of you who feel that strongly about giving them a farewell. We'll talk about how the Knicks look right now. You know, what else do we need? Do we need somebody to lead our bench? Do we need another starter? Or do we feel that we're all right now? You know, there's some who feel that we need to upgrade the shooting guard position if we're thinking about championship contention, and many of us are. But there are some of you who feel like DiVincenzo can be the shooting guard on a championship contending team. I'm not saying I disagree, but in order for that to happen, I believe there would need to be some more upgrades around him. And I don't really see where that would happen. So that's why I think we need a major upgrade at the 2. It's not necessarily about DiVincenzo, but just about the roster overall. We'll talk about Hartenstein and how he's been holding it down. And should we go forward with Hartenstein or Mitch, given Mitch's offensive limitations and injury history? So we'll talk about, we have a lot to talk about. I don't even think I mentioned everything. But anyway, let me bring in the all-star panel. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. My mouse is acting up. Here we go. Jerrell, J Boogie, Delusional Knicks fan is back in the house. And AJ, you know how he do. He come when he comes. So there you go. How you doing, AJ?
Right on top.
How's everybody?
Yo,
Shout
what's
out
up?
to the chat, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, I always say salute to the chat, man. Happy to be here again. Another Thursday, another great show. Let's get it.
Oh yeah.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Delusional, how you been? It's been a minute.
It's definitely been a minute. Been traveling from work, holding down the family. So I'm just ecstatic to be back, ready to talk some Knicks ball. So a lot has happened. A lot has happened.
And we definitely miss your opinion on the show. For those who are new, Delusional Knick fan, he has his own channel. So his link is actually in the description, but you can also just go to YouTube and type in Delusional Knick fan, and his channel will come out. Really, really good, sharp, well-made videos. So be sure to check him out and support his channel. J Bugs, you good?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. What up, sis? What up, my Uncle Bill? What up, Aggie? Luke, welcome back. But this ain't a welcome back. You ain't never left us. You've been here. Shout out to the chat. Happy 24. What's going on? We calling it the Mamba year. Everybody must Mamba up, man. Time to Mamba up, man. For real.
No doubt, no doubt. Listen, let's get right into it. The Knicks traded for OG Anonuby, and we got back Precious Achua for those who've been living under a rock. And Malachi Flynn, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and a second-round pick belonging to the Detroit Pistons went to the Toronto Raptors, which is basically a late first, right? Detroit has the worst record in the league right now. If it stays that way, that'll be the 31st pick in the draft. We've seen OG Anonuby for 2 games now, right? We're 2-0 in the OG Anonuby era, and we'll get into how the bench look and the other changes that might need to happen down the line. But just focusing on OG, what have you seen from him? Is there anything you've seen that surprised you? And do you have any concerns after seeing him for the first 2 games? We're going to go around. Jerrell, Ajay, Boogie, Delusional. We'll come back the other way, and then we'll mix it up throughout the show. That's important, I realize, because the first person could take all the meat off the bone, and then ain't nothing left for the next person to say. So we'll mix it up.
All right. I guess I'm going first. So, anything surprised me from OG? Absolutely not. As you can tell by the emergency episode that we had on Saturday, I think everybody on the panel was, positive about the trade. We actually like the trade. We like OG. He fits like a glove on this roster. I like the spacing better on offense. On defense, he's a monster. The first game with Minnesota, he locked up Ant-Man like he had a couple warrants out. I like that. Other than that, I don't have any surprises. Like OG is exactly who I thought he was going to be. I think he's a perfect fit. But I still do think we're going to have another trade, or we do need another trade going forward. But in terms of just OG and how he's played and how he fits on the roster, I think it's perfect still.
Okay. Ajay, what have you seen?
Well, before what I seen, Queen, I got to tell these people to hit the thumbs up, because we're 85 watching and only 21 thumbs up. Queen, you hit the thumbs up.
Okay.
Got
Yeah,
that.
you're right.
Lead by example.
I got it.
Right.
I didn't hit it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just did.
Let's go, man. Because tonight's gonna be a hot show. So let's get that thing at least to 100 tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised about OG Anonuby. I've seen OG play. I've watched him many times. In the Raptors, he's one of the guys I like to watch play. In Toronto. So didn't surprise me the way he played. His defense, actually, I expect it's gonna get better. Like right now, it's like softly bringing him in right now. As well as he's done during the games, he's still not in it to be in it. He's just literally had 2 games and maybe 1 or 2 practices with us. What did surprise me, however, with the team, and I'm only going to mention this about the starting lineup because I know you're going to talk about the bench later, is the amount of spacing it creates to have him on the floor. Literally, Julius Randle has a whole lot of landscape to function, and as does RJ Barrett. And then when they get stuck, OG was already right there cutting. Like, he kind of reads the game a little bit ahead of time. I didn't see it fitting this well with this team, because I still doubted that these guys could function, could create that much spacing if given the opportunity. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. At least in the 2 games that they played, I've seen that there's been a lot of spacing on the offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Hartenstein has something to do with it as well. So you got
Yes.
Hartenstein,
Yes.
you got DiVincenzo, you got OG, like you got real offensive threats at every single position, and the defenders have to take note of that. They have to choose what they're gonna do, and the guys are willing passers now. And we talked about this before. Are they willing passers because they're finally getting it? Or are they willing passers because now they trust the guys that's, around them, that they can hit shots? Boogie, just your thoughts on OG and what you've seen over the first 2 games?
Oh man, I believe we got the best perimeter defensive player it is in the East. That's what I feel we got amongst this team. And what's great about this guy is he knows his role and he appreciates doing and playing his role. And outside of that, he understands the role that us as the Knicks need for him to come and do. And he's more willing to do what the Knicks need to have because he understands what they have been missing. So, and as he's playing the game, he's also studying everything. He's studying, you know what I'm saying, the movement of everybody on both sides of the court. He's studying how Jalen moves, how Julius moves, you know what I'm saying, how Dante moves, how Hart moves on the offensive end. And then he's studying their weaknesses, you know what I'm saying, on the defensive end, realizing what he need to do, you know what I'm saying, not only for himself and, you know, who the best player he's checking, but also he's watching on where they weak at, where they slip up at. He's actually looking at the game more than he's planning, and that's a benefit to him. That's a benefit to the team. You know what I'm saying? What he's trying to learn and understand of the roster, so he can make sure that he's playing the correct role that we need him as a 3-and-D man. This guy is, I mean, we got a person that we wanted for a few years. He's here, you know, and it's only going to get better. Knowing that playbook and understanding that, those are pluses. But he plugging in and filling up gaps and filling up holes that the New York Knicks need. And thank you, Leon Rose. And that's all I'm gonna say right now. Pass it on my man Delusion. Thank you.
We know he breathing because there was some questions prior to this trade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Delusional, welcome back. Your thoughts on the first OG Anonuby's first 2 games?
First of all, I'm gonna start with how you're gonna have me following up after Jay Boogie.
I know.
That is I love going first.
That is the perfect setup. You know?
We gotta get you back in.
Yes, definitely. Oh, Lord. First off, yes, thank you. This is exactly what we needed. A wing that can defend with a 7'2" wingspan. That's pretty much the best attribute I can ask for OG, is the fact that we needed someone that can guard the Luka, the Jason Tatums, the Browns, the Braun. Those are the guys that will dictate and determine the game. So if you can at least put pressure on that player, force somebody else to score on the team, the Knicks are automatically going to win just with that factor alone. So I'm happy about that. The fact that he had 17 in the first game, did not practice, didn't do anything, just had certain playbooks, but he told Brunson, look, I don't know what the hell I'm doing out there. I'm just going to cut. And they found him in certain areas. This is without the playbook. You know, he was shot over 50% from the field. I think, what was it? The same for 3-pointer as well. So this is a great move. And I was one of the individuals that was like, do we really need OG? Maybe there's somebody else that we could go and get, you know, but seeing him here, seeing how it affects kind of everyone, you know, it gives Julius more room for him to go out and do things offensively, because he know, okay, cool, I don't got to sit there and try to guard one of those big forwards because they could throw OG on it. Then, of course, with Hart, that game, Hart can move over to the 2 where he can be in a better range to knock down these threes instead of banging. And it's crazy to see that he was guarding Cat and held Cat on certain plays. That I was kind of questionable. I'm like, let me see. You said you've guarded centers occasionally, and then there was one play of where he blocked the Frenchman off a help defense, and I'm like, all right, cool. That's something that Barrett probably would have fouled on because he doesn't have that arm length. And then OG is like 240 at 6'7". Like, that's his natural body. RJ had to bulk up when he got to the league. So I like it. I truly like it.
Yeah, I don't think I like it as well. I agree with you, JJ. You can't just look at the box score with OG, similar to Josh Hart. Though we are going to need more. We're going to need a little more scoring from him, I think. But I think it's going to take some time for him to learn the playbook. It's going to take some time for the team to really look for him. Because I think there's more opportunities for him, even in these first 2 games, to put up, you know, a bit more shots. But they have to look for him more, and I believe that will come in time. I think what I was surprised with was his interior passing. Like, he'll get a pass in the lane, and then he'll make an even better pass in the lane. I'm impressed with his hands. Some of those passes, they just went into a black hole, and he would just come up with it and dunk it. So he has really good hands. And I like his patience when he gets behind, when he's screened off. Like, he doesn't get in a foul. He doesn't, he just stays smooth try to get back into play. And I think part of it is because he knows that his arms are so long, he's really not out of the play, even though his body is. I like his calm demeanor. Now, from what I understand, he hit his offensive ceiling in Toronto. At least, that's what they thought. So, they see him as a elite defensive player. Though when I was listening to some of their content creators, they thought he had, slipped a little bit in defense. But sometimes being on losing teams will do that. And he'll definitely hit the three. But the shot creation that they thought would come over time really hasn't. He showed a little bit of pull up off the dribble, but that's not a big part of his game. We'll see. I'm sure he'll say he didn't have the room to do it, and I don't know how much room he's gonna have with Brunson and Randall. But for us, I think it's okay if he's not a shot creator. But right now, I think we can address that with whoever else we bring to the team. But having a catch and shoot guy hitting 44% from the corner where we're going to get most of our looks, and having somebody with size that can defend the best player on the opposing team, and a great defender between Brunson and Randall, that's like a match in heaven for us. So I'm super happy, and I'm looking forward to, I don't know, the next 10 games, just to see, how much more we can get out of him.
The next game is Philly, so that's another one.
Yeah. Are you concerned that he's not getting a lot of usage? Do you feel like that's just because he's new to the team, or do you think that's what he's going to be? Something like a mini Quentin Grimes, just in the corner waiting for them to see him and pass him the ball. And let's start the other way around. Delusional, then Boogie.
All right, so he just got here, honestly. So I don't think that's the issue. So we still that bench section that we had was horrendous. I know we're going to talk about that, but he was on the floor during that time, and he was very timid because he didn't know the offensive sets. If you look, he just sat in the corner. Then, of course, somebody penetrated and got trapped. He cut. That is the only play he knew. So I figure once you get the playbook and understand, look, this is that time period for you to have that ball in the hand, create, get aggressive, do that. So in due time, that'll come. But the first game, I believe he had 17 attempts? No, 12 attempts, and he was 7 for 12. But then, of course, that's when you had the second unit was kind of looking for him more when he was cutting the stuff. So I think here he can easily average 20 on the Knicks. That's not a problem. Easily. Why? Because he would knock down more threes than the other individual that we have had. So that will get it up. He doesn't get to the line a lot. That's the only issue that I have. He doesn't get to the free throw line. I think he's like two attempts per game in a sense. But I guess that's how they used him out in Toronto. But I think easily 20 points, easily. You drop 17 without knowing anything your first game. So, yes, he get in rhythm. He could definitely be that third leader scorer.
Okay. Boogie?
I know and appreciate what we got. And the great thing about who he is that's who we need to let him be. We need to not try to force him to become something else that he doesn't do, or he hasn't been, so far in his career. Over there in Toronto, he was the fourth option at times. You know what I'm saying? 3, 4, that was his position. But he's okay playing his position on the offensive end. But he's number one on defense. And that's where we need to appreciate him more than anything. You heard what he said in the interview. I want to be a floor leader on defense. That's big. Whatever he gives us on the offensive end, that's a plus. But he knows how to play basketball. He's not going to be over there in Macy's as a mummy with clothes on. He's going to maneuver around. He know how to cut and do other things on the court. And that's why when he cutting, people are hitting. He's going to build up that type, chemistry with these guys. And slowly but surely, just off of the antennas of playing basketball, his antennas is up and he knows how to cut to the basket and they know how to follow through and hit him as he's coming through. So everybody's working on the same page. But I'm cool with him just being who he is because that's what I need him to be. I need him to be ready to check these guys, on the other team, the best wing player. I need you to be able to check them guys. And as long as he's doing that and making it difficult for them, like he made it difficult for Edwards in that second half, like he made it difficult with DeRozan in that second half, when the games are really counting, I'm happy with that. It's up to Leon to go get the other dude to be scoring. You go get him, but for now, I'm good with OG, man. Welcome aboard, my guy. Welcome aboard. And he's a good kid. You ain't got to worry about him getting lost in the city. None of that. You know what I'm saying? He's a great locker room guy. He's not going to get out of character. None of that. Only thing I need for him to do is right before the tip-off, go talk to them stripes. Go talk to them referees and ask them, I'm a physical type guy. I like touching. I like being physical. How you going to call so I can know how to play my game accordingly to how you going to ref? And then he's going to be even better. Once he know that the referees and him and they on the same page, he's going to be that much better. I'm good. Thank you again, Leon. Thank you.
IJ?
Every segment that I speak upon, I'm ending it with thank you, Leon.
He not done yet.
No.
IJ?
Queen.
Any concerns he'll get lost in this?
Get lost in the sauce.
in this
No.
offense?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the guy's a professional baller. He's a professional player, and his basketball IQ obviously is up there. So he has the IQ. He already has the skills. He has the physique. He has the body. He's not going to get lost. It's going to get better once he learns the plays. He learns the schemes. He learns what we're trying to do here. No, he's definitely not going to get lost. Listen, he's not going to be great every night. I mean, this is, he's playing against other athletes and other great players. He's playing against the best in the world. It's not going to be perfect every night. So let's not expect a win every time these guys hit the floor. We got spoiled with 2-0, but that's not going to be the case every night. But no, he's definitely not going to get lost, man. The guy knows what he's doing. Like I said in the first segment there, he right off the plane, he didn't know the sets, but he's already able to impact the game positively, in a positive manner. So he's not going to get lost. It's only going to get better. He is going to have some rough games, but overall is going to be better. It's going to get better with him being here.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I got to be honest. I appreciate the defense, but I can't have like a 10-point a game Grimes over there. Where he's only getting 4 shots a game because they're not passing him the ball and he's not getting opportunity. I can't live with that. And that's how it looked last night.
Yeah, that's second.
You know what I mean? So I definitely need him to be more involved. I think whoever plays with Randall and Brunson, they're just at the mercy of those two guys to look for them and to get them looks. Unless you get a steal and you're in transition, you almost at their mercy. And now I can see how RJ had to snatch the ball, in order to get a look. Anyway,
now we realize why he forced certain shots. A lot of shots was forced with RJ to a certain extent. We're not going to go there.
But is that because the coach, I mean, they're not calling plays for him. So that's, maybe because he's new, but I mean, right now there's nothing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's just going to be eating off of those two guys. Right. That's just what it is.
Right. And Thibodeau did say in one of his press conferences that he wants to get him in practice, see what he does, see what they can set up for him. And he also said he wanted to use Hartenstein more in that same press conference. Jerrell?
I think it remains to be seen what he can actually do, but from his career, OG is not a scorer like that anyway. I think regardless of how long he's going to be here, I don't think he's just going to turn into the third option on our championship team, if that's your question. That's not OG's game. Yeah, he did look like, the type of shots that he was taking, kind of Grimes-ish. The difference was he was plus 35 last night, though. That's the difference of the game, and that's the difference of why he's valuable to the roster. But I don't think he's going to be the type of player that can get his own shot every time. That's not him. I just need him to hit those jumpers when he's wide open. That's all I need from him.
Yeah, and you're right, and he's not a guy that's going to create off the dribble. But I think I don't think I should be that concerned in hindsight, now that I think about it clearly, about him just standing out there waving and hoping, because he can get offensive rebounds, he can cut to the basket, he can do, he can get steals and go the length of the court. So he'll have an opportunity to score.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else about OG before we move on?
No, salute to Drip more. I just seen his last comment in the chat. OG isn't Kawhi Leonard.
No,
he's not.
No.
Like he's not that polished on the offensive end.
No.
He's a hell of a defender though.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he might be, second to Kawhi is when it comes to, like, I agree with what Boogie said earlier, that OG is probably the best perimeter defender on the East.
Yeah, Julu, you're at the mercy of JB and Randall unless you're a respected, established scorer in the league themselves.
Right. I think that'll be completely different. And I know, but a lot of people don't want like Zach LaVine and somebody like that. But like if Zach LaVine was our starting two guard, it wouldn't be like that with him.
No, I totally agree.
Or Murray or any of the other dudes that we was talking about getting to. Like we need an established scorer at the two guard position now.
Yeah. No doubt. Before we move on to possible talking about the bench and the rest of the team, just opportunity to talk about RJ Barrett and Quickley for the last time. And we'll open up the phone lines as well for those who want to talk about them and talk about OG. But just talk about, what was your best RJ moment or best, Quickley moment, and anything else you want to add. So we'll go Ajay, Jerrell, Boogie, Delusional.
First of all, it ain't going to be the last time we talk about RJ and IQ.
Nope.
I mean, we're going to be talking about them into the off season and all that stuff. God forbid we get bounced first, second, right? We're going to be talking about those guys. I mean, I don't have a best RJ or IQ moment because we've had these guys. RJ year 5, we had a lot of great moments. RJ Barrett just going off. I could think of a few of them. The game winner against the Celtics, the 40-something point game against Jimmy Butler in Miami Heat when Jimmy had to be like, man, that kid is rough. There are a lot of moments. Emmanuel Quickley, forget it. I mean, all last season when he was starting for Jalen Brunson, because he's gone off a few times, 30 plus games. We know what he can do. We know what RJ could do. And we know their limitations as well. So there are a lot of moments. I can't really pinpoint one. I'd have to sit and think about it, and then I would come up with probably at least a dozen for each one of them, a dozen great moments. It's been a lot of games between those two kids, So yeah, but we're gonna be talking about them a lot. Queen, come on. Every now and then you hear Kevin Knox come up. So you don't think we're gonna be talking about RJ and IQ? Come on. It ain't gonna be the last time.
I'll go quick. For me, IQ starting and that Celtics game. that was definitely my number one memory of him. Yeah, he was nice that game. He was unstoppable. RJ, I think it was the not the shot versus Boston. I'm thinking the 40-point game against Miami, like AJ said. I think that was his you know, his best moment as a Knick, and I remember that night like it was yesterday. So those are my two best games from them too. Best moments though, probably when they got drafted. It was especially for RJ. It was exciting when he got drafted because he was, a top 5 pick, and I remember how everybody felt about him when we did get him. Whether it was good or bad, because in the lottery we found out that we wasn't going to get number 1. So, but when we did finally get to the draft and RJ was drafted 3rd, like he put a lot of hope in people. Whether people think that's a disappointment now that he's been traded and didn't live up to it. When he got drafted, that was a dope moment. I remember the little pink suit he had on. Like that was a dope moment, especially with his dad and him crying. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Boogie?
His phone might have
Delusional.
Yeah, it did something.
I'll hold it down. For me, I believe it was a game late last year. I guess it was against the Pacers. That's where I think Obi dropped like 40 and Quickley had a 30 and triple double in that game. He was just like all over, holding it down, playing with excitement, playing with energy, smiling, throwing it up like he does. So definitely was that game for me regarding Quick. And RJ is the game winner against Boston. Sideline 3-pointer, catch and shoot. Because I definitely wasn't expecting that to drop. So when I definitely saw that drop, I was like, all right, cool. He got that ice in his veins. So those are pretty much my moments regarding those guys.
Boogie?
Yeah, when IQ took over the position from what's the point guard that we had? The dude with the hair up in the air.
Alfred?
Yeah, when he started taking his shine and everything, that was big, you know what I'm saying, for Q. And I was happy for that too, because he looked like he could take that from him. And for him to take that so early and Tom gave him the opportunity to get it, he from that point on, the relationship and trust started, right then and there between him and coach, from that moment on.
Mm-hmm.
I love the situation not too long ago, him being he putting on and his mom's is in the stand and he just hugged his mom after the game. That's just a beautiful sight, to me, for anybody that can hug and love and appreciate their moms watching them doing anything. To me, that's just beautiful. RJ, you spoke about the 40-point game against Miami, but I gotta reflect back to the game before he did that in Miami, because when he played against Jimmy the last time in New York before they went to Miami, he after every time something Jimmy had did or something that RJ fell for or anything like that, he was telling him what he was doing wrong. You seen him coaching and talking to him during those games, you know what I'm saying? And letting them know next time you need to do this and to do that. You see him really having a conversation with them when they were standing next to one another on the free throw line about something he did. So he was learning RJ up right then and there. And for that to carry over into the next game, and he put up the numbers, that was big. But outside that one moment against Toronto, that me and Hardwill, shout out to him, we sitting right up under the rim. That game-changing play when I never seen RJ run that fast or hustle that hard, and he ran down that ball and he grabbed it and he went up. Everybody knew that should have been an and one, but we went to overtime when he dunked that ball. That was a big, exciting moment. The building was going crazy. I'm smacking Kurt Thomas on the chest. He hit me. That was like, that was big. That was a big moment right there for RJ. But they got so many moments here in New York, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to have even bigger moments, where they're at, Shout out to them guys. But thank you, Leon. Thank you.
I think for me, it was RJ in the playoffs, followed up by FIBA, followed up by how he started this season. I thought RJ had turned the corner. We did that show buy, sell, and hold. Everybody was holding. I was buying everything, doubling down. Because I just thought I just want to make sure I'm connected. Yeah, I am. If somebody calls in, I was just thought, his time had come. And it was just good to see him rise to the occasion in the playoffs. It was good to see him in FIBA. I thought his floor game improved. And it has. I mean, even when his shooting went back south, his floor game was still good in terms of his decision making. So that was a good stretch for me. Because, like the rest of you, I'm a huge Knick fan. And I'm like, oh, if this is RJ, we well on our way. All right. Let me make sure. I know somebody's calling in.
Call from
JJ.
Hey,
to
JJ.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What happened? Call back, JJ. I'm not sure what happened. I did press 1 though. No, I don't know. I don't know what happened. So give us a call back. And for Quick, oh man, probably the Boston game. When he put up, I don't know, was it 38 points or something, something like that? Probably the Boston game. Anything you're gonna miss about those guys? I'll go first. Quickly's bench scoring.
I think that's everybody.
Yep.
JJ, call back. Yeah. Anybody else?
That, aside from his bench scoring, his confidence.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time people hated those logo shots. I loved them because every time he took one of them, you're like, there's a possibility this thing go in. You know what I'm saying? And those stop and pops like in anywhere, like from any distance, man. Listen, if he continues to do that, man, he's going to be
151699. Call from
Donald DiMichelli from Oceanside.
to accept, press 1. To send
A lot of times,
Hello, caller. Can you hear us?
hey, Stephanie.
How are you?
Good, down from Oceanside, calling. Good to see you guys. How happy are we with this acquisition? Look, both teams did good, but OG is the perfect fit on about 25 teams, but absolutely out with the whole spacing. And I could ask a whole bunch of questions, but how much do you think we're going to have to pay OG and Hartenstein now that Hartenstein's benefits? And what's the talk about the shooting guard? I don't really need a shooting guard when we've got like the 3 perfect guys there that combined aren't going to cost what Spider would cost.
Well, let me ask you
really,
this.
Dante's shooting 45% from 3. And he's hustle on both ends of the court. And
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because that'll give context to the shooting guard upgrade. Do you think this team? Because is a championship contending team?
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Wow. Okay.
You got the perfect. You need those 2 corner wings in Dante and OG, and OG just understand it. He's cutting. OG's a freaking beast. This guy's a serious ball player, and great, guy. From what everybody says about the guy too. Wants to be here. We might even be able to get him for $35 million. And that's what it's going to cost to sign him. All right. So after we pay him, how much are you going to pay Hartenstein? Yeah, the spacing all opened up. We don't need 3 lefties. RJ played like no defense compared to OG. There's no comparison. There's plus 30 a game with this guy. He's incredible.
Yeah.
How much you paying Hartenstein?
This is the thing. And shout out to Josh, Uncle Fulio, who brought this up. Can the Knicks afford to have $30 million in their center position? Mitch is already making 15.
No, Mitch is making 25. Where are you? Mitch is just signed his first year of the deal. He's making 20 something this year. It goes up to like a little less than RJ's deal. He got paid.
Mitchell Robinson is not making that much, and he's on a declining deal. If I'm not mistaken.
You know what? It might be a declining deal. You're right. Not escalating.
He's making like 14, 15.
No, it's in the 20s though, Steph. It's not in the teens.
No, it's in the teens.
It was 4 years, $60 million.
They signed him 4 years for $60 million.
Okay, maybe it's the. All right, if you say I'll take your word for it. I think the first year must have been 20, and that's why I was thinking it was 20 throughout or more, or going up. But in Hardenstein, I think we have like 8 right now.
9. But how much money do you want to have? How much money do you want to have tied up in a center position where you're not?
Well, the two-headed monster center that we have, that we got like a great guy, whichever one is playing, but you can't rely on Mitch because of the injuries, And at crunch time, he's hack a Mitch,
Right.
Hardenstein is showing us like, wow, oh damn, this guy, someone's gonna take him from us if we don't pay him. And how much, to answer your question, what it takes. I'm certainly not throwing out 35, 45 on Murray and freaking. That's the point of, you're talking about signing a guy that you got to pay. You got to pay Spider. You got to pay. It's a salary cap league. Where are you getting this money from after you give OG? OG's getting $35 million, right?
I think we'll still have enough if you're not putting $30 million into your center position. I think we would have enough if you're not. You just got to think about how much money
you're not keeping Hardenstein. Hardenstein's a more critical piece than IQ. You were going to pay IQ how much?
We weren't going to pay IQ. That's why we traded him.
Well, someone's going to pay IQ $25 million or more.
Yes.
Someone.
And it's not in Toronto. Otherwise, we might just find him back. At the end of the year.
To me, for me, and I know the tomatoes are coming. I'm signing.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
I'm signing iHeart, and I'm looking to move off of Mitch. I'm not putting $30 million into my center.
Well, with the declining numbers that you're saying, he's a bargain at $15 million as a stud backup for Hardenstein, who definitely has to start now, and you're going to have to pay him. The thing is, maybe what you're saying is we could get something back because he's such a good bargain piece if we traded him on that last year that, 15, 16. And, he ain't no bum. People look, this guy's a 20th pick in the first round. He's 24 years of age. He's, doesn't shoot good free throws, but he can shoot threes.
Who are we talking about now? I'm sorry.
I moved it over to Precious,
Oh, Precious.
People are forgetting about this guy who's like a critical piece now. Without Mitch, he backs up the 4 and the 5. Sims ain't playing again. Taj ain't playing again. It's going to be Precious,
Well, he's a restricted free agent. So I think that what the Knicks have to do with this new collective bargaining agreement, they got to be very careful about who they pay. You can't pay everybody.
Well, how much do you think we're going to pay Jalen and Jewel? They get $50 each.
Max.
You got to hope you can pay Mr. Brunson some money, and the league doesn't know about it. It's all in the family, man.
No, you can go over the cap.
$10 million a year.
You can go over the cap to sign your own. We can go over the cap to sign OG. So that's
you're not going on, and that doesn't affect the luxury tax, really.
It will. I'm more concerned about us hitting that second apron and not being able to make improvements to the team. That's why we got to be careful. You don't want to lock yourself into a team that's not a championship contending team. Because once you hit the second
not that now.
Yeah.
We got the best two-headed guy. Julius is a freaking beast. You guys are finally, I think everybody is finally realizing what I've seen so obvious. He doesn't show up in the playoffs. Yeah, with a broken ankle? Come on. I started the season. He didn't have his Kobe Bryant workout regimen like he does every year. The guy's a beast. This guy's a hard worker. Now you're seeing and this OG guy is going to make both Jalen and Jules even better. Just like Jalen made Jules better, this guy's going to make both of them. And you're seeing it. He's got 14 assists, 13 assists in 2 games. It's ridiculous. They dropped 65 last night. Look, I know they were beating up. They were missing guys, but it don't matter. Took care of the Timberwolves.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate
I love
you.
this team.
I love it too.
I think we're championship right now, girl. So.
Woo. Well, we're gonna be talking about that later on in the show. So stick around.
I'm going back to turning up my volume.
All right.
Thanks for taking the call, Steph.
Of course. Appreciate
Thanks for calling.
Take care, everybody out there.
Happy
All
New
right,
Year.
you too, man. Thank you.
Salute.
Happy New Year.
Happy
You
New Year.
too, bro.
Great call.
Yeah, great call. You know, when the phone number comes in, call in. If somebody is on the phone, we don't have the capabilities to put you on hold. So just wait for the person to hang up and then call in. Sorry. That's where we are right now. And here we go.
+191738638. Call from
JJ.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, Steph, how you doing? Salute,
Salute.
Steph. Delusional. Salute. Hit that thumbs up for AJ, Jerrell, my Cardozo High School brother, Jay Boogie. How's everyone doing? Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Going
Year.
on?
What you
my
got
brother.
for us?
Salute, JJ.
Happy New Year.
Blessings to you,
Salute,
brother.
salute. Yeah, man. I mean, OG, listen, if there was something that this team needed, that fit a player that this team needed, the picture would be OG Anonuby. He was the absolute perfect fit for this roster to a T. Listen, RJ Barrett, he gave, it's 5 years. It's 5 years of inconsistency. That's being kind. It was time. He was showing us he wasn't a third option. He's not a defender. When Randall and Brunson are your two best players, you need that third guy to be effective off ball and to be a plus defender. And OG is both of those, and RJ is neither. Am I saying OG is the piece that's going to take us to, a Boston level or Milwaukee or Philly? I'm not saying that, but he fits so much better than RJ. To me, it's not even really that close for what we need on both ends of the floor. I just think OG is the better player. I'm not saying in 4 years from now, who knows? But RJ, he shows this year he's not ready to be even a third option. And if you're not going to give us defense and you're not a third option, and you're really more of a negative asset, to be honest, in my eyes, at least. I think he was showing us what he is right now. And that's just a highly inconsistent, highly inefficient player. And I think it was time. It was time to move him. Sorry.
Yeah,
I would have moved him a minute ago, but it was showing us, unfortunately. He was never going to live up to. Unfortunately, you get judged on where you're drafting, right? Hey, it is what it is. For a third pick, what can you do? That was the pick to make. I can't get on the Knicks.
I have a question.
You had to make basically.
I have a question for you, JJ. So what do you feel? We know how you feel about RJ being gone, but how do you feel about the fact that we had to move IQ? We had to lose IQ, basically to
that's the one that stings. I gotta be honest. I'm not the hugest IQ fan, but I do like him. It definitely. Obviously, you can see what it's done to the bench. I know you guys are going to talk about that. The bench is definitely a pretty glaring weakness right now. I don't think Deuce is ready for that backup point guard spot. Losing IQ hurts, but you got to give to get, right? So if we could somehow find, a spark off the bench, before the trade deadline, I think that would obviously be something that I'm hoping we will do before the deadline's over, because the bench is definitely weak right now. But listen, OG, it's perfect I think it's a trade that's going to work for both teams, honestly. You send RJ home, quickly gets what he wants. He's a starting point guard, and we got exactly what we needed as well. So I just think OG fits like a glove. Like that was the exact perfect fit that we needed.
Yeah.
Am I saying he's the guy or the last piece? No, he's not that. Are there going to be some nights where you're frustrated that, he's not going to give you 20 every night? Sure. Yeah, RJ was giving you 20 every night, but highly inefficient. Look at OG's efficiency. You never see him force a shot. Never. Even with Toronto, the games I watched, and you never see him take bad shots.
Right.
You know, I just think, I love OG. I really do. I just think we're probably a 2-guard away. I think we're, a star type 2-guard away.
That was my next question. What did you think that the Knicks need now? And you basically answered a star 2-guard away.
Yeah.
Do you agree with the last caller? So I take it you don't agree with the last caller that we're a championship contending team right now.
No. I definitely have to. I mean, I want to agree, but right now, no. I don't think we're on Boston's level. I don't think we're on Phillies. I got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're on Phillies. I mean, we'll see, right? We play them tomorrow. So, I mean, one game doesn't totally show you everything if we are on that level or not. Whether we lose by 40 or win by 40, I'm not sure we're on their level. The Bucks, I think we're one star away and one bench piece away. So I'll say 2 pieces away. I'll say 2.
What's the level of the upgrade at the 2 position? Does it have to be prime Harding star, or can it be Donovan Mitchell star, or can it be a Levine star, or do you feel like it has to be a superstar level?
I think, that's a good question. That's a good question. If I had to say, I would say superstar.
Really?
I would say superstar.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Mitchell is the piece.
So somebody better than Mitchell.
Brunson, I don't love it.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody better than Mitchell. I'm talking like a Devin Booker, somebody like that. I'm not saying it's realistic, but in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
But I think it's got to be a superstar in my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not buying into and we'll talk about this later in the show as well. You're not buying into the Randall and Brunson are a good enough duo in themselves if you put the right pieces around them?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. That's just me, Hey, I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong before,
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, man. You guys keep up the great work. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year to you.
Thanks for the call, JJ.
Happy New Year. Pleasure.
No doubt, absolutely.
All right.
No doubt.
Right there.
We'll take one more call before we move on with the show, and then we'll put the link up, the phone up. Oh, okay.
+1
Trying to get in real quick.
551. Call from
Corey Roberson.
Hello there.
Yes, good morning. Good evening. I'm sorry.
Can y'all hear him?
Yeah, we can hear Corey.
Yep. How are you? What you got for us?
Good evening. Hi, everybody. Hope all is well. Happy New Year.
Thanks. Same to you, man.
Same to
Happy
you.
New Year, guy.
What's going on?
I was just calling because I just want to get ideas from everybody as far as how they feel if the Knicks do not get Murray, but will get somebody else to cover the second unit as far as a point guard, and what would you feel would be the best point guard to make that second unit run? And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a segue into what we were going to talk about next. So I'll ask you the question first. Between Brogdon, Alec Burks, Clarkson, and anybody else you want to name, who would you like to see leading the bench?
That's a good question. Burks, we've had him a couple of times. I think I'm done with that. Clarkson, I can see it, but will they want to trade Clarkson to us? And what would it take?
Coming from
and how
Utah,
would that
right?
match?
Yeah.
That would be, because I just don't know if he wants to deal with us. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And I mean, now as far as a backup, would you all want a backup center? Or if we do not get Murray and you think we can manage, as far as, let's say, dealing with the first unit as far as trying to keep everybody's minutes down. So that's my main concern is Brunson and Randall.
Right.
And that second unit, I love McBride, but he's not ready.
It is a concern of mine. I would like a backup center. I'm not as high on Achua as a backup center. I'm high on him as a backup, backing up Randall. I'm not really high on him being a backup center. But the Knicks would have to get somebody cheap on an expiring deal, like not somebody that you're going to have to pay next year and the year after, in my opinion.
And before, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
And before I go, I just want to ask, so what is our trade exceptions? Because I'm a little confused with those trade exceptions that we have, or how we use them, or how we can't use them.
My understanding is that you're welcome. My understanding is that you can't aggregate them. You can't put them together.
Right.
So I think we got a $5 million one, 5 point something. We got a $6 or $7 million one, and then we may even have a disabled player exception if that gets approved. But you can't put them together. You have to use them separately.
So and then that's the thing about how to use those in trade to get, and I guess more or less that would be used for second unit purposes because it wouldn't be able to use for someone as, let's say, a star, not superstar, but a star, or
you
someone
could
at least.
You could, I mean, not in and of itself, but I believe you can put it in a package. Like if you have multiple players in a package, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, if you have multiple players in a package and you're a little short on salary, I believe you can use that to either match or go over. Any Delusional, anybody have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. But I believe you can.
Well, thank you, everybody. God bless and
Appreciate you.
a prosperous 2024.
Thanks for the call.
Blessings to you, man. Happy 24.
All right. We'll come back to the phone line later. I appreciate everybody for those who called in and those who were trying to call in. Thoughts on bench targets? I know Ajay was not hearing me when we was texting back and forth, and I was saying I wouldn't mind Alec Burke. His concern was that Tibbs would sit other players down so Burks can get 30 minutes a game. I'm just thinking he's cheap. He knows the system. He has positional versatility. He can get buckets, and he could basically create for himself and create for others. And that, I think this is different than when he was here the first time. It's not like, he's taking time away from the development. Like we're past the development now. Like right now we're looking for players who can contribute. And I think he can contribute. And I think if Tibbs is giving him 30 minutes, it's because he's playing better than somebody else. But Brogdon, Burks, Clarkson, and anybody else you want to lump in, who would you like to see and why?
That's a very good question, Steph. Because it seemed like it will have to be a player that's on a team that's not doing too well. Where Burke's definitely close. JJ still getting them bars off, I see. Yeah, I don't think he'd be closing, but yeah, I think Alec Burks is probably the number one answer right now because I'm thinking what the Knicks would do more so as I know you asked the question what I would like, but they're not gonna do what I want to do, Steph. Like, I think they're gonna. Yeah, they never do, man. I think they probably will go after Alec Burks. I'm looking at like the records for teams now. Like Detroit is 3-31. Let's go save Alec Burks. You know what I'm saying? Like 3-31. I'm not that biggest Alec Burks fan. Like I'm kind of like Ajay. Like I hated when Tibbs was playing him at the point. But he ain't deserved the Pistons, though. You know what I'm saying? he deserved that. Like we talk about once a Knick, always a Knick. It's not like we gave RJ and IQ to the Pistons, man. Like they 3-31. So go ahead and get Alec Burks. He can't have his old number back though because OG already got it. But no, he was 18, right? Not 8. I'm sorry. Yeah, so go get Alec Burks. I liked Brogdon and Clarkson and stuff, but I think they kind of like pipe dreams, to be honest. Like I don't Yeah.
So who are you trading though, Jerrell? That's the question. Who are you trading to get Burks? Because he makes 10 mil.
Oh, he make that much?
Yeah.
We got the trade exception though. So you could put in a $3 million in the trade exception for 7, and you could do that.
But who makes $3 million? It will have to
Grimes
be
makes about.
Yeah, but but why would with the team that Detroit has? I don't see why they would want Grimes.
Right.
Like it just makes him even worse because of age. That's what I'm saying, not talent. Like they're already like the youngest team in the league. That's why they're 3-31. So yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know who, and unless it would be Alec Burks and somebody else. How much does Bogdan makes? Like he's on the Pistons.
He's
like
20 mil.
Oh, because I was saying, Evan Fournier and Grimes for Alec Burks and Bogdan, but I don't know how that works. Yeah, that's too much. So I don't know. That's a very, very good question. I don't know. It would have to be somebody like Deuce, because what Deuce signed for? And I don't want. It's not like I want to trade him, but it would have to be somebody.
Deuce signed for like four.
Right. It would have to be somebody like Deuce for Alec Burks, because their price is almost matched now that he signed that extension. So, I hate to give up. I hate to give up Deuce though, but I don't see why they would want Deuce either.
Can I ask? Can they trade him if they just extended him?
Probably not.
That's like that poison, but they have to at least wait for the off season, right?
6 months, June 29th, the day, or June 30th, the day before free agency.
Well, that's out then.
They'll be able to. They'll be able to trade. I see people talking about Anthony Simons and some other. Anthony Simons is not coming to the Knicks to lead the bench.
Yeah, he makes about 19 million or 20
Yeah,
million.
I mean, he's a starter in this league. And the other thing I want to point out is I think we got spoiled with Quickley. You look at these other teams, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Denver. Do they have a Quickley coming off the bench?
Quickley is 6 man of the year candidate. Not too many teams have Quickley coming off the bench.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. So we're trying to replace Quickley and get these high level second team guys, when in reality, most people's second team, they're just actually looking for them to hold down the fort. And shout out to Geoff. Geoff mentioned this the other night. They just looking to hold down the fort until your starters can get in. And if you happen to pull a Oubre off the waiver wire for minimum and he blows up, good for you. But I don't think for us trying to replace Quickley, I think that's unrealistic.
Okay. I got one for you. Tyus Jones from the Wizards. He ain't doing nothing over there.
How much does he make though?
Well, let's take a look.
Didn't they just sign him too?
Yeah, they just signed him. So I think January 15, he's eligible to be
So you said Tyrus, right, from Washington?
Yep.
14 mil he makes this year.
Yeah, I think that's too much to hit the bench.
Damn, Queen, you don't want to pay nothing, man.
You know why?
What do you pay? $200,000?
You know why? Because I'm trying to make sure we don't go hit the second apron and get locked into a roster that's not good enough. And then I'm also trying to make sure we got enough money to upgrade the shooting guard position. I don't have nothing against DiVincenzo. Do not get me wrong. I think on this particular team right here, he's perfect in the starting lineup. He's the best option. I love the way him and OG and Hartenstein fit with those other two. They don't command the ball. Even when they're not shooting and not getting shots, they contribute in other areas. They're perfect for a playoff team. But if you're talking about winning a chip, I don't think this team is winning a chip. So that's the only reason why I'm trying to be a little stingy with the money so that we have enough to go get. I don't think we need a superstar, but we need a really good third option.
So, Queen, I think the Knicks is thinking exactly how you're thinking. We are just a playoff team this year, which is why I think they're going to wait until the summer to really make that splash. So this year, it's like, all right, we're going to see how far we get with the team that we have, how it's going to work. Let them get the camaraderie together and play through. If it was up to me, and I was throwing tomatoes before, it might be raining ketchup now, but I want DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
I truly want DeMar DeRozan in this situation due to the fact that you have a secondary ball handler. He career averages 5.5 assists. And the Spurs, you saw occasionally he brought the ball up and ran that offense. So he has the capability of doing that. Then, of course, he can also run with that second unit to get OG going, to get all the other guys going, and still be that primary guy to slow the game down, get you free throw buckets, get mid-range buckets during that time period. The only issue is he is a free agent next year, so he would be a rental. Then you'll be stuck in a situation of do you pay him, do you not? So
I would pay him for 2 years. I would give him a 2-year contract.
I'm telling you, DeRozan will, and you saw the conversations him and what's the name had talking with the thing over that. You know that's cold to saying, come on over. We need those mid-range buckets when they start putting a towel over their face and talking.
And he hit 3 threes just to let Tibbs know I can knock him down.
He did not shoot any threes the other previous games before that, Queen. So those were intentional threes made, pull-up threes at that. You know our statistics love to pull up threes. That was an intentional game to say, guys, I can be that third individual. Truly can. And this is another reason why. That will help us out when we have to match up against Boston, because you still need someone on Jaylen Brown. If you got OG on Tatum, then they can switch, and you still have height and length. That's my only thing with that. You still have someone that's 6'6". Now Dante is solid, but he's 6'4". 6'4" at 203 pounds. But when you bring in a 6'6", 220, then a 6'7", 240 to match up with that, I'm just saying, you can hang with that at least. You can hang with that.
Boogie, your thoughts on anything we've talked about thus far? Pick whichever one you want to expound on.
Yeah, you shouldn't have no tomatoes thrown at you, my guy, because you had both of the guys in the building last night. You should have boarded up the building and not even let them leave. You could have just got DeRozan, and you could have got Caruso, and that would have summed it all up. Caruso ain't got number $9 million. You can use that, whatever the money y'all was just talking about. You can use that and anything to go with that. You know what I'm saying? You can give up Evan Fournier you can give up Evan Fournier, Grimes, and a couple of picks and could have got both of them guys easy. You know what I'm saying? You could have just got them guys, and that would have solidified. Because we need 3 things sold up. You need a shooting guard, you need a backup point guard, and we need another center. You know what I'm saying? You can go get Mason Plumlee Mason, whatever his name is. You go get somebody like that. You know what I mean? So that's gonna pose a threat with everybody. Okay, you got DeRozan and OG, and you got a backup point guard, and then that solidified Dante. You know, I don't want to go get a shooting guard and that becomes a starter, and Dante goes to the bench, and we use Dante to have to be the ball handler when he's killing right now. You have to make a move to where you're still making a move where everybody can still do what they're doing. So if you're making a move like DeRozan, you got to have somebody, a point guard, so Dante can continue on letting go that thing like he's letting it go right now. I don't want to take him out his vibe and take him out his groove. Yeah, but that was we could have just easily done that. You know, he already told him, yo, it's 2 places I want to play. You know what I'm saying? Leon, what are you waiting on? Yeah, I saw the whole conversation. They were hugging and everything. Yep. Yeah, he was in the building. Matter of fact, there's a couple of players in Chicago that was up there doing demos last night. They was demoing last night. Andre was demoing last night. People was there. They went up out of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Give me any one of them guys, but don't give me Kareem Akbar, because I'm going to get like Nino. I'm going to stab him in his hand too. Don't send me no Levine. No, I don't want Kareem. But yeah, man, I think that's a good fit. You know, with Caruso coming off the bench, and you still would have Hart. You still would have Josh Hart, and you have Dante. That's something real mean and slick. You know what I mean? Right there, coming off that bench, that's some power. But if you go get Brogdon is starting. He might not even want to come off the bench. You know what I mean? You gotta continue on going and get guys that fit and are willing to play what we're asking them to play, and not come here and feel like nah, I don't want to do that. I think that's what's wrong with what's his name? The guy that came with Toronto. I think he's up out of here anyway. He looked like he's still feeling woozy off that screen that Julius set on him the last time when he was into here in New York. He set that screen on him on that sideline, like he broke that man's neck.
Malachi Flynn.
Yeah. But I would have liked DeRozan and Caruso to come over here. You could have walked away from that and still had 6 number 1 draft picks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What about the thought in Zigzag Ziggler? I hope I got that right. He's not the only one who said that. So a few other people have said on other shows, DeRozan struggled in the playoffs. Now, to me, if he did struggle with Toronto, he had more pressure on him to be that number 1 guy. I'm not sure he would have that in New York. But your thoughts on DeRozan struggling in the playoffs?
Hey, I'll elaborate on that right there. It's a lot of people struggle with LeBron. That's the only thing that's ever been inside that man's weight. So we're not even gonna twist that, because you pull up all the stats. And he put up numbers against Cleveland. It's two guys that's been in the way of New York, and both of them are A and A1 far as being named as the greatest players ever. That's Michael Jordan and that's LeBron James. Those 2 guys have been in the Knicks' way. But that's the only guy that stopped Toronto over there. That's why they went and got somebody else that can, do something else. You can't get mad about going to get Kawhi, man. That man was traded for Kawhi. That's on his resume, man. But that man has experience. I know Jason Tatum and Brown, they can't do nothing with him. Philly ain't got nobody for him. And Middleton show can't check him. So what are we talking about? Come on now. Let's not make up something. I see you talking in the chat. I see I'm on my laptop now.
Delusional, you wanted to say something to this?
No, it was the LeBron effect. It was every year. If they didn't have Braun in the first round, they got past the first round. Then they faced Braun in the second round. Then they got eliminated. First round, they met Braun, got eliminated. It's the Braun effect. If he has to guard Braun and Braun is on you, or vice versa, or I just think it was that scenario. And then, of course, the year that they won it, Braun left and went to the West Coast. So I still would take my chances with DeMar on that aspect, because, like I said, he's a crafty player. He's a veteran now. If he needs to get a bucket, what he's going to do, I'm going to get to the free throw line, slow the game down. Then, of course, you got Brunson, you got Julius, then you have he's coming to fill a role. This is not, I need you to be the number 1 option or the number 2 option. This is, let me complete this team. Let us get us over the hump. That's what he needs to do. So I don't think that'll be an issue.
Yeah.
You think it's an issue, Queen?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's an issue. I mean, I've said this, I can't tell you how many times now. Number 1, I'm a believer, and this is relatively new. I'm a believer in Brunson and Randall as a championship duo. However, they're not Giannis
Tatum
Dame duo. They're not an Embiid Maxey duo, though Maxey is coming into his own. I'm not sure he's there yet. They're not a Tatum Brown duo, though you can argue that. So their number 3 and their number 4 have to be better than those guys, those duos, number 3 and number 4. That's how I'm seeing it. If they're going to be your 2 best players, your number 3 and your number 4 got to be a little up there. And so OG is that, for what he does. That other guy can't be, in my opinion, a Jeremy Grant, because I feel like we need somebody that can get a bucket other than Brunson and Randall. They're going to double team Randall, take the ball out of his hand, make it difficult for him to score. Brunson, they're going to wear him down, or try to wear him down. Who's the other guy on this team that can get a bucket for you? Who's the other guy that can get a bucket for you?
Right.
You could just give them the ball and be like, get me a bucket.
and not to cut off Queen, but just boost up. And we ain't talking about in a fast break bucket. We ain't talking about in a play set. We talking about playoff cleared out move, get out my way bucket. That's what we talking about. Because that's what you gotta have in those playoffs. When we played Miami, game 4, game 5, the playbooks went out the building. Everybody knew what everybody was going to do, and now it's time for you to be a man. And that's how Brunson stood up. He's that type guy that can get buckets like that. But when Brunson has to go sit down, you know what I'm saying? And until Julius do and perform what he need to do, you got to have that other dude that can go get a bucket. You got to.
Right. And we're not talking about regular season buckets. Everything changes in the playoffs. So when people talking about, Paris Duggar, I appreciate you. We need to add what we can to beat Boston and Milwaukee. Jeremy Grant to go with Anunoby, and Randall does that. I disagree. Let me tell you something. Jeremy Grant and Anunoby, they're going to make it hard. They wouldn't make it hard for Brown and Tatum. But you think they shutting them down? No, they're not shutting them down. They're going to make it hard for them. If you're going to beat them, you need somebody that's going to make it hard for them, and you also got to have buckets. You got to be able to score. Look what happened. They took Grimes right out the series. They took Emmanuel Quickley right out of the series. I'm not sure who else. Where these guys performed for us in the regular season and was gone like a fart in a dust storm when the playoffs started. You know what I mean? I mean, this is what happens when the lights get bright and when they're able to game plan for you time after time after time. So in my opinion, I love Jeremy Grant. I love his positional versatility, but to me, he's another Anunoby, somebody who has to be created for him. He probably has a little more shot creation than Anunoby, but no, I need a playoff ready bucket. The next move the Knicks make. That's just me. What's your thoughts? Jerrell, I haven't heard from you in a minute. Ajay, just your thoughts on what the Knicks need in that starting unit, and then I'll get to the chat.
I agree with what everybody is saying. I think that's part of the reason why my number one trade target was Murray from Atlanta, because he kind of showed me a little bit something last year when they played Boston. I'm looking up his playoff numbers now from last year. He shot, even though they lost, obviously Boston was a better team. They lost in 6. He shot 45% from the field, almost 38 from 3, averaged 23, 7, and 7. So with those numbers combined with his defense and his ball handling ability, I always have that Miami series locked in my head now. The way that they played Brunson, you can't do that if DeJounte Murray's on the same floor with him.
Right.
So just because of that, and how that series went, that's why he's my number one target. Like the age matches, the money matches, and what he does on the court matches. So
can he get a bucket, Jerrell? If we need a bucket, can Murray get us a bucket?
I mean, from the time that I've seen him, he's a point guard that can get his own shot. I mean, that's his calling card on offense. So, I don't see him as a pass first point guard. And he still averaged 7 assists in the playoffs last year. I don't really count any of the playoff numbers that he put up with San Antonio, because I think he was only like 20 or 21 years old, and they didn't make the playoffs for like the last 2 or 3 or 4 years that he was there. I think he made the playoffs as soon as he got there, like his rookie or second year. But last year, he showed me that he would have helped us in that Miami series. So
okay, all right. As long as he can get a bucket, I feel like I think
he could get a bucket.
That's what we need. Boogie, you was going to say something?
Yeah, just to add something, that was his first. That was his first time in the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. This is his second year with Atlanta, right? He ain't been in the playoffs with San Antonio. They ain't done nothing. Yeah, so for him to put up them numbers like Uncle Rel saying, that's big for him. You know what I'm saying? Just for finally getting his feet wet, playing in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying, against the top notch team that's supposed to have been in the East. So he's only going to get better and better. I mean, I'm aboard with Murray too. It's a lot of things I'm out there I could be aboard with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Murray would be a major fit. You know what I'm saying? He can handle the rock. And I don't even need Donovan because I got Donovan's killer over here. Now you go be Donovan. And I'm handling this rock. You go be Donovan Brunson. You been killing him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm aboard with that too. But just bring me Capella with him.
That would be nice. Backup center. That's already, yeah, that'd be nice. What we got to give up to get both of them, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. You're going to have to go in. You're going to have to go in to get them. What you holding back for?
That is true.
Yeah.
Sherwin, Steph, if we give New Orleans 3 first, that should be able to get us Trey Murphy. Yeah, it's Sherwin. Listen, I like Trey Murphy. I like his defense, his shooting. He hasn't been to the playoffs yet. So he's a guy that when he gets to the playoffs, we got to see how he is. He has to grow year by year. At that starting 2 guard, unless you talk about him coming off the bench, at that starting that other wing position, I need somebody bona fide. I don't need somebody trying to learn. And because this is the thing for me. Can we get one more player to take some pressure off of Brunson and Randall? OG is not going to take any pressure off of Brunson and Randall. Trey Murphy is not going to take any pressure off of Randall and Brunson. Who can help take the pressure off of those guys so they don't feel like they have to put up 69 shots a game? You know, but in a vacuum, I like Trey Murphy.
Right. Like I would fully agree with Sherwin if we didn't have OG.
Right.
But now that we have OG, it's kind of redundant now. Like we don't need an OG number 2, even though he's a good player, a good young player too.
Right.
But yeah, it just wouldn't fit again.
This is another, and I'll leave this for Ajay. You can answer this with whatever you were going to say, because I've heard this before. If Murray didn't work with Young, he sure is not working with Brunson.
Why? Because Young and Brunson are the same player?
I think he meant because of size, maybe.
Because of
maybe
size.
I would think that would be the only thing because they're not the same. They don't play the same. So I would think so. I would guess size.
Yeah. Let us know, Keith Turner, why you don't think
it would work.
Yeah, it would work. You wanted to add something, Ajay?
No, I was gonna say, to answer your question, I agree with your assessment, and I know we've talked about this a couple of times before. So the Knicks right now have what I like to call 1A, 1B in Randall and Brunson. So we don't need a 3. We need a 1C guy. Like you said, a guy who can come in and stand up like right next to those guys and be as effective as they are. That's why DeRozan makes sense at this point. So I wouldn't be mad if they get DeRozan, even though he's a bit older. Like the age kind of doesn't match the other guys, but he could be a 1C guy, or and you could interchange. So when there's pressure on Randall or Brunson, you have a third guy that could go get you a bucket when you need one. So.
I think what I'm gathering is some fans, I'm pushing for another on-ball player, but some fans feel like we have enough on-ball players in Randall and Randall and Brunson, and everybody else should be off-ball. Do you guys agree with that assessment, or do you feel like we need one more on-ball guy?
Queen, you saw Randall ran with that second unit, so he was the primary facilitator, and you saw that it was horrible because he pretty much took all the shots. He was the ultra aggressive. Everybody else was just spot up corner, so it's easy to defend that. And he had multiple turnovers that game as well. So get the ball out of his hands. Let's see Dante DiVincenzo when he won the chip. No, he won the chip with Milwaukee, not Golden State, right? So when he was in Golden State, he ran the backup point guard when Steph got hurt. So he has the capability of bringing the ball up, dribbling, and getting out of pressure. Put the ball in his hands. Deuce didn't necessarily have the opportunity to be himself because you saw him timid trying to get the ball to Julius. So I figured just get Julius out that second unit. It'll most likely kind of flow. You will see a better flow in that offense because Deuce can bring the ball up, or whoever, Dante, can bring the ball up and run the set and have the ball movement. That game, you saw Julius like, all right, it's just me with the bench. all right, let me go to work type stuff. I'm going to bring the ball up, pass it to me. I'm going to post at the high post and let him try to facilitate and do what he do. So just we got to switch that offense up on that second unit. It'll be better, I believe.
So do you feel like you're saying we just need a on ball player with the second unit, not necessarily for the first unit?
Not necessarily for the first.
Okay.
Because Dante could bring it up normally when they do have the big, because they're putting big guards on Brunson now and they're full court. So they're give it right up. But there's been numerous times that he brought the ball up, started the offense, and things went brewing. Then there's times where Brunson forced the issue. Nope, I want to get it over because I want to get in and do what I need to do early. So it's up to them to really make that decision. All right, we're going to give an effort to let Dante bring that up. So it's less energy on you. It's less effort that you got to put. I mean, you don't have to put as much work in just to get the ball, rather for Brunson or Randall. Knicks those dudes be wide open. Honestly, it's just that Brunson sometimes forced to bring the ball up so he can initiate the offense, which sometimes is the mid-range floater when we're down and he wants to be aggressive. So in those moments, yes. But when we're up, you see the ball is flowing because there's not that much pressure of someone forcing the effort. So I just think when we're in a situation where Dante can bring the ball up, Brunson could come off a down screen, they could utilize that more often, but they don't. They try to force the issue early and let him bring the ball up and set that up. So the other guys just need more responsibility, and I think it can play out well rather than us heavily relying on Randall and Brunson in those situations.
Okay. Let me just read this super chat and then we'll continue. Wiz BKLA, appreciate you. How about DeJounte and a super bench Brogdon? I mean, if
we got 40 million to kind of send out,
that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Brogdon makes. Do you think we need? Again, these other teams don't have these supercharged benches like like this. I think we're spoiled with IQ, so we're trying to replace them. I do think we do need a solid option in that backcourt. I don't know if it needs to be.
That's 22 million coming off the bench. So that's
no.
I mean, if we can trade, because I think he has 2 years. If we can do Fournier, use the trade exception to kind of do that, and maybe a second round draft pick, then yes. And
who you're going to use to upgrade the shooting guard position?
Well, Brogdon's coming off the bench.
Right, but if you use Fournier, I'm saying for Brogdon,
right?
How you gonna? Who's gonna headline the trade for the DeJounte Murray's, for example?
Oh, right.
The draft picks.
That is true.
The draft
picks,
maybe draft picks. Headline. We don't have any more headliner stuff. We out.
And plus, they have to wait anyway for DeJounte in the summer. I believe summertime is when he'll be able to come through. So you're right. Could be utilizing those draft picks.
No, he's January 9th.
No, I'm about to say
January 9th.
Or he could be traded now.
I think their situation is that certain teams are going to be over that high, that second tax area, and they're going to want to shed during that time period.
Oh, I see.
Gotcha. So I think that's when teams are going to be forced to kind of make a trade rather than try to do it before the deadline.
Gotcha. Shout out to Walter White. Appreciate you rocking with us. Appreciate the super chat. Milwaukee has 4 starters who can get their own shot, but the fit is wonky and they don't play defense. Forever a contender, never a champ. We'll see.
They won a championship though.
Well, because they had that chemistry and that I don't think this Milwaukee team is a championship team. They can definitely get to maybe the Eastern Conference Finals, but to really contend for a championship, nah. You lost their key guy, which was Holiday. Holiday was their primary defender, locking up everybody. Everybody. And they had Tucker. Don't forget, they had Tucker locking up the forwards during that time period. They lost both of those guys. Who is
that offense went up 50-fold though?
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If you look at their plus minus, they're a worse defensive team, but they're a much better offensive team. That I'm not plus minus. Excuse me. Their net rating is one of the tops in the league. I'm not. To me, I feel like we're overvaluing defense in this day and age. Yes, you need it. Don't get me wrong, But the better your offense is, your defense doesn't have to be super great if your offense is great. Now I ain't talking about rank 30 now. I ain't talking about rank 30.
Right.
But I don't think it needs to be in the top 10 if you got a offense. Look at Denver. Denver was a powerhouse offensive team. What was their defense rank?
Nah, I think it was top 10 during the playoffs, though. Queen.
Okay, well you could. Well, was it?
I think as long as you have,
you were 19 and went to 2. So I mean, if we can turn it up, Milwaukee could turn it up
right.
too.
I was just gonna say, I think as long as Dame and Giannis is on the same team in a 7-game series, it's gonna be hard. I don't care about their defense, man. I care about the defense, but that's a hard. They could be a tough out in a 7-game series. That's all. Not saying that they're going to win the championship, but they're gonna be tough.
No,
they should be, but the only problem with them, and it's gonna show, because you can look and you can see them now. I'm not betting on their coach to out coach somebody.
Yeah.
And that plays a major part. He's over there looking like, man, y'all. Like I'm here, but man, the way we playing right now, they might call me in the office. That's how he looked in almost every game, especially when they play them Pacers. He looked like, oh God, I'm gonna get fired as soon as this game is over.
Right, no doubt. Paris, no, it doesn't. If that was the case, we would have beat Miami and we would have went to the Eastern Conference Finals. We were like the number 2 defensive team. We couldn't hit a shot.
That hasn't been the case in like 25 years, man. All this defense wins championship. That's not the case. Forget that.
I still believe
this ain't the 90s.
I still believe in defense win championships.
No, you gotta play defense.
It comes to stops, though. You still need certain stops in the stretch period.
You could get a timely stop and not be a good defensive team. Look at the Lakers when they won, when they had Kobe and Shaq. That wasn't a good defensive team, but they knew how to get the timely stops when they needed them. So I agree with that. But that you need to be a defensive juggernaut, nah, I don't think so. Not in this day and age. You need to be able to
hit the shot. You got to put the ball in the hole.
The rules are set for the offensive teams to operate and win. Honestly, so yeah.
Yes, Delusional. The NBA actually made a concerted effort to make it an offensive game, to make it based on offense, because it's more exciting. It brings more people. Nobody wants to see stifling defense. You can't score. Nah, they want to see the highlights. That's how they call the game. They call the game in favor of the offense. Okay.
Listen, nobody is saying you don't need to play defense at all.
Right.
Nobody is saying that. But in the 90s, were you going in with a defensive look at us 2 years ago when we played, or 3 years ago when we played Atlanta in the first round. We were a top 5 defensive team who couldn't shoot the ball and who couldn't score. So I'm not saying defense doesn't matter. You need to have a decent defensive team, but you got to be able to put some points on the board. Yep. So we bring in Trey Murphy, we bring in Jeremy Grant, and we rolling in the playoffs. Looking at only Julius and Brunson who can create their own shot.
Be just like last year.
That's a lot of pressure on those two guys. And if you think, oh, but we got Jeremy Grant and we got OG, we gonna lock Tatum. Listen. OG did a really good job on Ant-Man.
Still had
33. When they said, oh, I was like, oh yeah, he's doing really. Oh wow, the Knicks is doing well. And then they said, Anthony Edwards had 33. I said,
yep.
I said
in the beginning of the show, I said he handcuffed him, and he still had over 30.
You're not stopping those guys. You're just making it difficult. They're not going to be as efficient. But they still dropping their points. Can you match that? Because you're not stopping Tatum. You're not stopping these guys. You're not holding them to 18 points. It's not happening.
And definitely not in 7-game series. It ain't happening.
No way. You got to be able to put points on the board yourself. Now, if you don't have an OG instead of their regular 33, they're gonna give you 50. So you do need perimeter defenders to keep them at their average. You know what I mean? But you ain't stopping those guys.
Right.
I mean, it's part of the reason why we think we need superstars in order to win championships in the first place. Like the superstars that we talk about, none of them are really defensive superstars. Right. They're superstars because of what they do on the offensive side of the ball. Except for somebody like Kawhi Leonard or, somebody like that. That's a little different, but
I don't know. That's just me. I get both. You guys don't disagree, but
you need both. It could be an ongoing argument because you need both to win the championship. You can't be whack at either of them. You know what I mean? You can't be sorry on either side of the court. So
right.
I mean, I think we're surprised a lot of teams in the playoffs this year with where we constructed. Not to say it's a championship team, but I think come in April and stuff like that, we're definitely surprised a lot of teams.
Yeah,
and see us in the top 4 in the East.
Trust, believe, there's some teams out there. There's some teams out there that don't want us to make another move.
Word.
They don't want to see us. They don't want to see us catch up to them. They are with us winning right here. They don't want to see it. They begging for it not to happen. But in some way, in some type form, it might be just me and my own my mind frame, just making things what I want it to be. But I look at certain things like, there's certain reasons why certain things happen. Like, how is it that the Knicks got the first win in 2024? How is that? How is it that the Knicks was on ABC last night in the middle of the season? How is that? And nobody else, all these schedules. What are they trying to get at? And then you got some guys on TV talking like
they've been riding with us forever.
Right? Yeah, like they know we on deck. They know we on deck. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like something is going to happen. And before this deadline is over, we're going to do something else. Because I constantly keep saying that man has to prove to James Dolan why he needs another check. You don't have no new contract. It's still on the old contract. What are you going to do to get yourself a new contract, Mr. Rose? And that was a start, but you must bring in the overhand right. You got a jab, OG, but you need that overhand right. But the problem is for real, these superstars is really almost over and done with. These guys they got like one more good solid year. LeBron it's almost over for him if it ain't over. God's grace in this, he's still playing. Kevin Durant, all these guys, they almost done. Then you got the backup guys like why I see like why would how can we get Devin Booker when Bradley Beal can't stay on the court and Durant is almost done? We talking about going to get him. You know what I'm saying? They not giving up Booker unless he tell them, yo, get me up out of here. And these guys is not saying they want up out of here. They scared to tell them people what they want. Don't you think Donovan would have been over there if he'd went over there and told Danny that? He was just hoping Danny would have seen, him hanging out in New York. He'll send him there. No, I ain't getting ready to do that. Cleveland know he don't want to be there. But nah, he ain't knocking on the door. So, you got to go get other pieces. Like that was, if you go get 2, maybe 3 solid pieces, you can contend against these guys. Milwaukee, they can't stop nobody at all. But they got people that can get buckets. So if you got to match scoring with scoring and hope that maybe some of our guys can get more stops than them, you know what I'm saying? But you got to have the right personnel. We're not all the way. We're not there yet. No we way. Need a couple of more pieces, then we can swing. That's why I say, yo, don't go get me DeJounte and don't go get Capella and they try to get rid of him. And he only making 20 more million next year. We got to get rid of one of these bigs. So, and I'm not putting nothing past Leon. He's sitting down with Paul. They trying to iron things out. You know, when they said we couldn't get nothing done with Toronto, he went and got that done. Right now, I'm believing in Leon right now. You know what I'm saying? Because Leon has showed me something. If that man sit there, he can get rid of these guys and like, yo, I ain't draft these guys and all that right there. Yo, I'm going to swing get what I'm going to get right now. He's going to get his guys. And Leon, you said you could bring us a superstar. We can't count Brunson as a superstar because he's just becoming into the all-star role. So that's not our superstar. But you ain't got another player that you like fit for your satisfaction. You got to go get not the superstar, but go get us the other players that can be role players so we can all get over the hump.
High level role player. High level. So, I mean, you bring up a good point, Boogie. There's only about 5 superstars in the league, and they lock down. They're not going in anywhere. And I never agreed with the Knicks standing pat and hoping somebody will become available. Improve your team. Right. Now, let's say we get Murray and a superstar becomes available. OG and Murray can headline a trade more than IQ and Barrett. You know, so you can still put those guys in a trade for a superstar if they become available later. Improve your team now. So the question I have is, no superstars available. Can we win a championship building around the duo of Brunson and Randall?
Queen, before we jump into that one, somebody starred the Parish Duggar comment.
Oh, that was me, because I wanted to point out that Miami did play really good defense and they was physical. But the reason they won that series is because all of a sudden Miami just went from being the worst shooting team in the NBA to one of the best shooting teams.
They were hitting their shots.
They
were hitting their shots. And if defense was so great, how come they had beat Denver? It's not like Denver played great defense on them, you know, because Denver was hitting their shot. Denver is got better offense. That's why Denver won the chip last year. Yeah. Parish Duggar.
Yeah,
not because they have better defense.
Yeah, I don't think I'm saying no defense. I don't think I'm saying
nobody's saying that.
You know, you don't have to play defense in today's NBA. I think your defense has to be solid, but you gotta have bucket getters. You can't roll out there with this all defensive team with just 1 or 2 players that can get buckets and think you're gonna get far in the playoffs. It's just not gonna happen, in my opinion.
Right. We all wanted OG because of defense.
Right.
Now we want somebody else to put the ball in the basket. That's all.
Right. Yeah.
This ain't McDowell's. This ain't Coming to America. Take the mop out the bucket. We need buckets, man. Crucial buckets. But Miami had 3 dogs and a dude that came alive. The dude that came alive was Duncan. He came alive, but they had 3 dogs. So you can't forget the fact that, you know what I'm saying, Larry, he gave us the business. Yeah. He clamped dudes up and he went crazy on. You hit big time moment shot. He been there.
Boogie, not just Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, that's the man.
Yeah. Gabe Vincent came in all of a sudden. This guy was a sharpshooter, man. This guy.
Yeah, but you know, but if you go back and look, that was early on in the series. They started clamping down on him late in the series. That's when Larry came alive. Larry came alive games 4, 5, and 6. You know, and IQ was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he was killing us off the bench. You're right.
Yeah. So Ivory 10 doesn't want us to get distracted. Let's discuss your question. Can we build a championship contender with Julius and Brunson as a duo, as your best player? I think before we answer this question, I think we have to back up just a little bit and revisit Randall and whether or not we think what we're seeing from Randall is his new floor, because Randall has had great stretches as well where he's engaged on both ends of the floor. He's always good, don't get me wrong, but he's had stretches where he looks like one of the best players in the league and looks like he should be in MVP conversations. Like he'll have those stretches.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, he'll go back to being very good. Everybody get what I'm saying? Like very good and excellent. Right now, he's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talking about can we build a championship contender with those two, I think part of the discussion is the Randall we're seeing now. Can this be his flaw? So let's just talk a little bit about Randall, how he's playing right now, and has his play now changed what you've thought? Because I don't think any of us ever thought he could be even a number 2 on a championship team. I think we thought he could be a big part of it. But I don't know if any of us thought he could be even a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts now on Julius Randle before we head into this question?
Real quick for me, I think probably have the same stance that I had on RJ in the beginning of the year. I think I'm gonna hold because I don't know. Like you said, Julius Randle has showed this before. Like not exactly the way that he's doing it, because I actually like him in the post more. He's been playing in the post more. The closer he is to the basket, the better, right? But we've seen, like you said, we've seen stretches where he looks like a Hall of Famer, then stretches where he looked like he needs to be traded. Like we've seen that from him before. So until the playoffs happen and we see what he does in the playoffs, I can't buy this Julius Randle yet because we've seen this before, like you said.
Right. And I'm talking about this as his flaw. So the people who think nobody is sleeping on Randle,
right.
Relax. Everybody knows Randle is a good player. Randle has all the supporters on this panel right here. Right? What we're asking is the level he's playing at right now his new floor? Totally different question.
Right.
About whether or not he's a good player or not. That's not what we're talking about. The Randle we're seeing now, is this his new floor? Because if it is,
that changes.
We're talking about something that changes,
a lot, to be honest. That changes a lot.
Changes a lot. Delusional, Boogie, and then Ajay. The Randle we're seeing right now, do you think this is his new floor? You buying, selling, or holding? Maybe we'll frame it that way.
I'm buying. Queen, I am buying, and it's tough for me to say that because remember, I was one of those Randall guys need to go for Opie during that time period when we drafted Opie, but he has turned it around. The reason why I say that this year is, remember, he had gotten hurt last year, right? And during the summer, what he said during the summer, I was able to slow things down to review tape and see things from a different angle that I haven't done before. So now you're bringing the IQ aspect into the game. You was just going off of pure talent. I'm 6'9", that could dribble, shoot occasionally. You're going off talent. When you really want to be great at playing basketball, you're going to become a student of the game. Understand what defense you're going into. Understand other players' favorite spots. Understand your spots. He's taking less threes. He's attacking more in the paint. You see he's doing fadeaway jump shots now, mid-range jump shots. He's more bully ball. I wouldn't say he's more efficient. Actually, yes, he's 47. Last year was 45. So he's more efficient with the field goal, shooting less threes. Same at the free throw line with attempts and made. So he's seeing where his bread and butter is at. Bully ball. Stick to that. Then, of course, he's making occasional passes, timely buckets. So he's adding the IQ to the game. Once you add that, the game slows down for you. You become easy. Same with Braun. Braun can sit there and read the play that you're about to do. Just looking at how you're setting and forming up from the timeout. Great players are smart players. So if Julius can continue on this path and really study the game, his game could not only be where it's at, but it can also elevate because he can play defense now. Just like when he was hustling last night, made the play of the deflection, threw it inbounds. We got a fast break bucket. You took away 2 points. You added 2 more. Now we continue. So I think Randall.
But that's the thing, though, because that wasn't Randall in the beginning of the season.
Well, because remember, he was hurt, though, Queen. He was hurt. We all are. He was hurt. He was
okay. I'm not going to say the beginning of the season.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the beginning of the season. You're right. He was hurt. that defensive switch for me, I noticed in the Utah game. There was games before that when Randall was perfectly healthy and he was just disinterested on the defensive, and I don't think it had anything to do with him being
You know
hurt.
why? Because he could have blamed RJ or he could have blamed this
I was going
individual.
to say you should blame all this on OG. He's the reason why.
You know, he's going to
Maybe because his
this
energy has been off the chart defensively. Even before
Mhm.
OG, he's been much more engaged on the defensive end. So you're buying, holding, Boogie, buying, holding, or selling at this level of Randall is his new floor.
I'm gonna pour some more gas on it.
Okay.
I'm believing in Julius this year, all the way. You know, when Julius told me in Atlanta, he said, "Yo," I asked him how you feeling. He said, "I'm getting better," and I know he was talking about his foot, meaning he was getting more comfortable with what's going on. The reason why I'm buying, I wish I could. I wish I could have just been a fly in the room to see what tapes he was watching of himself during, the time when he was at home this off season. Because remember, he told Paul, this I'm gonna have to do something I ain't never done. I can't work out because of the injury, so I'm gonna have to watch tape. So Julius, Delusional said a lot of it completely right. Yo, he's on his bully ball right now. I'm not settling for the jump shots. I'm getting to the cup. I'm getting to that rack. And with me getting to that cup and that getting rack, guess what I'm finding? I'm finding out these dudes is really soft. I'm finding out these dudes are scared of me. He's 3-1 against the big dogs so far. And what I'm talking about, he crushed Siakam because that's a win. Good numbers in the L don't stand up to good numbers and a win. He crushed Siakam. Same thing to the Towns just not too long ago. It's somebody else. He put up good numbers against Giannis, but that's a loss. It's somebody else he put up good numbers. Julius performs against them power forwards that are threat to him far as, like all-star conversations and everything. He been performing against these dudes night in and night out, and I forgot how many games they said, but it was Julius is averaging 28 and something over his last certain amount of games that's up there in teams. He's really balling. So, and everything is up for him right now. You know what I'm saying? His free throw, he got that back up. That was down in the beginning, and you're right. His foot, okay, your foot healing and then you getting comfortable with your foot are two different things. He don't got comfortable with his foot, whereas, okay, I'm back and I'm ready to play. So man, I'm all the way up with Julius this year. I think this is the year that he's really going to stand out in the playoff because he's playing more free throw down ball. He's playing more, I'm going to the cup. You see him sprinting and he running the floor. You used to see Obi get out there on fast break. Julius is sprinting. I'm beating guys, you know what I'm saying? But he does have lapses at times, whereas he'll check out on defensive things and stuff like that. But see, this is where OG is going to come in. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean come in, I don't mean come in to be like, yo, he going to make up his slack. I mean, he's going to come in where he's going to remind you, if you want to be where you want to be at, dude, you got to make that play. But in due time, you know what I'm saying? OG will be able to talk to them and let them know how you feel. Like he talked to Siakam. Right now, he got to figure out and pick and choose what he can do, when he can do it, and how he can do it. But I believe in Julius this year. You know what I'm saying? He's putting up some numbers right now, and he's not playing. Whether you like it or not, he's on his way to be a 3-time All-Star. Whether you like it or not, he's going back in that. He's going back to Indiana. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see his little man with him at the game and everything. Julius is going back as a 3-time All-Star for the New York Knicks, and he's going to go down as the best power forward in New York Knicks history. He's going to go down with that. Whether we like it or not, however you feel, however you want to flip it, Julius, you got to appreciate what he's doing right now because it's serious. But last night, he said, you know, when people hit treys and stuff and everybody running around pointing it all like, it's in my vein. Yo, that dude Caruso tried to take that charge. He looked like I thought I was watching the movies The Fist That Saved Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? That little dude with the headband looked like Caruso, and Julius put that man all the way on that ground. He went right on the side. You see him pat the floor? I put him in the ground. Julius is here. Appreciate him while you got him. I don't say, yo, trade him while he up. You know all that. No, don't trade him while he up. Don't get me the rest of the pieces that we can go ahead and swing. I'm riding with Julius. Ride with him. Bully ball.
Let me read this super chats before we get to Ajay. Shout out to Paris Duggar. I'm buying this play inside Randall. It's sustainable. Oh boy, Paris Duggar.
Let's go, Paris.
Paris.
I know. Paris Duggar again. Appreciate the super chat. If you want straight firepower, then get marketing.
See, the only thing I like marketing. He don't really fit no more though. Now that we got OG, what does he play?
Yeah, where's he gonna play?
He does
right.
Can't come off the bench.
No,
right.
No way.
And you can't have.
Did Utah do an experiment with having him at the small forward marketing?
He does play small forward.
He does play small forward.
He plays small forward with Cleveland too. But we got our small forward unless you're trying to move
OG to the 2.
Damn.
No, how's that gonna work?
It doesn't help out ball handling at all, though.
No, definitely don't. Definitely.
Yeah,
don't.
I think OG's
definitely
handle
don't.
is not that.
Don't.
Doesn't look that strong to me.
But when DeMar DeRozan was with them in Toronto and OG was there, what position did OG play?
Say that again.
I said when OG rookie year and DeMar was out in Toronto, what position did OG play?
I think
he played the 3.
Okay. He played the 3 and the 4. He like a tweener between the 3 and the 4.
But I think he came off the bench though.
Yes, he did. He always came off the bench until maybe a couple years ago. I think he wasn't starting. I don't think.
Yeah. Ajay.
Queen, you know how I feel about Julius Randle. I don't think it's a matter of do we buy or sell or is this his floor. This is who he is. I mean, this is the 3rd season out of the last 4 that he's playing like this. Right? I mean, this is who he is.
All NBA.
You don't think this is a higher level though? You think it's about the same?
It's the same. He has a different team around him. You got to remember, year 1, his point guard was Alfred Payton. All right, his 2 guard was Reggie Bullock. Right, so he's got a different team around him, so he's able to do a lot more. But he's been getting ready for this, for a while now. So this is like I said, the 3rd out of the last 4 season. He had 1 bad season. That was the thumb down season. But this is who he is. So we don't have to buy or sell. That's just who he is. How many more years? How many more seasons do we want to see him doing this before we say, okay, we got one. We got one. Yeah, he's gonna have some bad games. He's gonna have some crazy, some I don't want to say crazy, but some not so smart plays that he does. The IQ, he's still working on that. But the guy's a specimen, man. He's like a straight cyborg out there. He's standing there like Terminator. You see him at the foul line? He's like a robot. Automatic.
J-Tab, I think the Supermax, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be on the team that drafted you. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's anybody who makes the all NBA team. I think you have to be on the team that drafted you in order to get it, if I'm not mistaken. And there might even be a time limit on it too, within the first 6 years or so. I'm not sure. Somebody correct me.
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. So my answer is probably a little maybe complicated. I'm all in on the Brunson Randall duo. I just think they're probably going to need, like I said earlier, a little more support than these other duos may need. But when it comes to Randall's play right now, not his regular play, which is at a high level, but where he's playing now, I'm holding. Because last season, I was buying. And I'm not saying he slipped all the way down. I'm just saying he went from a superstar level to his regular level, which is still very high. Because if you're saying that where Randall is playing right now is his floor, we right there, to me, we right there with Milwaukee. if this is, because think about how he's playing. Look how he's playing. He's playing on a superstar level right now. He's playing both ends of the floor. He's running the floor. He's making good decisions. If this is his floor, we don't need much. Then we good. We I mean, sure, we need more. Don't get me wrong, but if this is his floor, I would put him and Brunson with Boston. I'll put him with Philly. I'll put him with Milwaukee if this is his floor. Because if you've watched him as of late, he's playing lights out. You see him blocking shots. You see him getting deflections. You see him, moving his feet, playing defense. Those are not things we've seen from Julius Randle on a consistent basis. He's sharing the ball. He's making good decisions. He's picking his teammates up off the floor for all of these body language fans. He's picking teammates up off the floor. He's hitting them in the chest. Brunson was struggling the other day. He hit him on top of the head like it's going to be all right. This is a totally different Randall. And if this is his floor, the Knicks are on another level. So I'm holding because I'm not sure this level is his floor from here on out. But even at the level he was playing before this, I think him and Brunson would be enough. But we just need higher level. We just need higher level pieces around them. That's my thoughts on it. I'll open up the phone lines and see if anybody else want to add to it. Anybody else in terms of the Knicks being champion? Well, actually, Randall was the pre-question. Right?
We didn't get to it.
I was just going to say
the regular question.
I was just going to say real quick. That's why I agree with you with the whole holding thing, because if I'm buying, that's when I'm gonna start getting nervous, and we got to rethink everything that we've been doing, like everything, like this roster. Yeah, like if Julius Randle, if this is his floor, we have to rethink everything. Because the way he's playing now is like an MVP level.
MVP level.
But Jerrell, what do you have to rethink if he's playing? Because the roster is constructed as if he's MVP, like as if he should be playing at that level.
No,
so much so, absolutely no. Then you have him, you have Brunson. Our concern right now is scoring coming off the bench. That's the only problem we all have right now.
Well, no, I guess my thing is if we're questioning if this is his floor, we should not be debating whether him or Jalen Brunson is the best player on this team, AJ.
It's no debate.
It shouldn't be a debate then.
And we don't even need an upgrade too.
And we wouldn't need an upgrade from Dante DiVincenzo. No. This is Julius Randle's floor. That's what I'm saying.
Right. If he's on that superstar level, we don't need no upgrade at the 2. DiVincenzo is good. DiVincenzo could start with Milwaukee with that superstar tandem, because the more top heavy you are, I'm not saying you don't really need good players, but they don't need to be on that level when you have those top heavy guys.
Right.
So if Randall is that,
we don't need to get DeJounte Murray. We can get somebody else to help handle all this stuff. Yeah, for the bench and stuff, but we wouldn't need to give out all those draft picks and stuff if this is Julius Randle's floor. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So that's why we've been saying the best swing is I'm gonna go back to DeRozan. That's if you get like those are not very, very big pieces, superstar pieces, but that's a piece that can fit with the experience. And he can have the conversation in those tough times and those tough moments because he's been there, and that's a position of need. If we can strengthen up something and Dante can go back to that bench and still be what he's doing as a starter, and we have a starter that can remind, Julius and Brunson what the ticket is, we'd be in a real great position, without the superstar. The only superstar there is out there is a praying hope that Luka has to get up out of here. All the rest of them, they almost over the hill. But the other person the other third person is Anthony Davis. He hit 3 solid dudes in the mouth. Siakam, Davis, and Towns. Bust them. You know what I mean? Bust them. And still been having good numbers up against Greek, even though we lost, but he bust Christmas Day. I ain't trying to persuade nobody else because that's what makes the show so great. We agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree.
You know what I'm saying? But we all want for the same thing for Julius to turn up and be who he is right now in them playoffs. And I do believe this is his time right now. He's in the streets. He's in the streets. He's everywhere.
This is why
I love y'all. Y'all remember that dunk he got? He pulled up on the rim. He smacked on the backboard. He turned, started walking and yelling, screaming at the crowd. He was telling them right there, love me like I love y'all. I love being here. I want to be here. And he ain't going to take a super max. He going to take a pay cut. He going to get about $8 million more than what he got because he wants to win here, and I believe him. And if you want to win here, you're going to do what you feel like. You're going to do what's best for the team instead of doing what's best for you. If you want to win here. Come on, June. Bully ball.
See,
God damn it.
This is why Jay Boogie is dangerous. He gonna have people changing their mind because he's gonna have people running through a brick wall for doing it.
Right. Dwayne right. I think Randall will be better because there's a better team around him and there's more space.
Right.
A lot of times what happens, particularly for power forwards and even for Randall, who's now playing more under the rim, it's easy to crowd those guys. It's easy to double team those guys. But when you got a good supporting cast around you who can hit shots, they got to choose. They got to choose what they're going to do. You want to double team Randall, that's fine. If DiVincenzo or whoever we have there is knocking down shots, if OG is knocking down shots, you make them pay for the double team. Right? We didn't have that before.
And both guys are shooting over 40%.
They get paid for the double team. Now you single coverage Randall. You can't cover him. You can't cover him one-on-one. So I think he will perform better in the playoffs because the team is better. He's going to have more space to operate. And if he decides that he's going to play both, and like for me, I don't expect somebody with Randall and Brunson's usage to play lights out on every defensive play. It's just a lot to ask. Don't be a sieve, though. Like don't just let people, drive by you, and pick your spots when you dare spot times when you do have to dig in. But I think he will be better just because the team is better. All right, so back to the question, can we build a championship team with the duo of Brunson and Randall, or do we just go to the playoffs perennially and just be as good as we can be until one of those top guys shake loose? Boogie, then Ajay, then Jerrell, then Delusional.
I think we can build around them, and we're already doing it. We started last year. Great in-season, mid-season pickup with Josh Hart. Then you came back, you got Dante. People didn't like that right there, And now you just went and got OG. So piece by piece by piece, he's putting together something. You know what I'm saying? Slick right under the table. Hey, be honest, I even like the two-way signing he did with this junior guy. I looked at everything he got going on. He reminded me of the Vincent guy. His game is so similar to him. So I'm believing in Leon for real. And I think Leon is finally realizing, okay, let me go ahead and do and build what I want to build and never mind how somebody going to feel in New York, because half of them going to like it and the other half ain't going to like it. But if I don't do what I think is best, then I'm not doing my job. Let me fail by putting something together that I'm trying to win with. You know what I'm saying? But if it don't fail, guess what? I'm gonna stand out. So I like what Leon is doing. I think Leon can continue on putting the right pieces. And he's doing boss moves. I ain't gotta talk to the media. I ain't gotta be loud. I ain't gotta do none of that. But I still got them 8 first-round draft picks, and I plugged in something that we desperately need. Now I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to go ahead and swing and do what I need to do. That's gonna fill out the rest of this team and this roster, so we can make a run, and get a fan base something that they feel good about. I appreciate what Leon is doing, the whole staff and everything. Like I said, you don't go into the 5th season without a new contract, and them guys have something that they got to prove. Leon got to get it done right now. Forget the off-season trade. He got to get it done right here, right now, by this trade deadline. Shout out to Still Nick fan. What up, Ron? Happy New Year to you and your family. I'm believing in Leon. I'm rocking with Leon. I rock with the team. I rock with everybody, everything we got going on. I rock with all the podcasts. I rock with the chats. I'm Boogie is happy. Breaking news. Smile. They told me your Boogie just remain calm. No, I'm not ready to calm. I need MSG SNY after that Wolves bomb. When that Wolves bomb hit, boom. You know what I'm saying? What happened? We that number one target, that number one conversation, that number one talk. We the one that make the league buzz. We make it buzz, whether it's good or bad. We buzz the league. The league ain't nothing without the Knicks. And I know the league is they're scared of the Knicks to get right. They're scared of us to get right and be where we belong. Get rid of all that. Anybody left over in them last 10 years that's dealing with far as what the Lakers and what the Boston Celtics doing as the top 3 franchise and why they was winning all them banners. Get rid of them, Leon. Don't even have them here no more. Clean regime. Clean house. This is a new Escalade right now, man. Big boy style. We escalating, man. Going up, man.
Mad dangerous. Delusional about to take his shirt off. Stop. Boogie mad dangerous, yo.
Hey man, I love y'all. I gotta get ready. My little baby telling me, yo, daddy, you gotta read the book. I gotta go read this to my baby, y'all.
Okay.
I love y'all, man, and appreciate y'all to the fullest. You know what I'm saying?
You as well.
Y'all stay blessed, man. Lose, man. It's good seeing you again. Agi, you're Agi. Sure. Hey, yo, you're going to hear it real soon, but I name dropped you in a song, dude. I name dropped. Oh, yeah. Let you know that, you know what I'm saying? And nobody never know who I might name drop or something, but I name dropped you in something, man, you know what I'm saying? Because
that's what's up. That's what's up.
You know but
you should have told him that, book. You should have told him that. Aj gonna be killing himself now.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'll be like this. When's the song coming out? When's it coming out?
Well, I'm in negotiations, man. I got to go through negotiations before I do releases in it nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they want, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But y'all have a blessed one, you know what I'm saying? Rest of the evening show, man. God bless. Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital F. Shout out to the best chat it is in the world belong to Orange and Blue.
All right, man.
Appreciate you. Well,
I mean, that's always the strategy, isn't it? Like, right? We get better. We always look to get better. And when these guys shake loose, man, you have to go for it. You have to go all in. And then by getting better, you're also in a better position because you have better players that other teams want, and you have the assets that other teams. That should always be the strategy. I mean, I think.
But the question is, though, do you think that you can build a championship team around these two, or do you feel like we need to just do the best we can until one of those guys shake loose?
That's what I'm saying. Do the best you can.
Okay.
Until one of those guys. And by doing the best you can, you never know. You may be knocking at the door of a champion just by doing the best you can with those 2 guys.
Right.
Depending on the pieces you put around. Right. What the rest of the team. You know what I'm saying? So you always have a goal, but that doesn't mean you can still succeed by using those 2 guys and getting better teammates around them. But again, if a Devin Booker shake loose, listen, everybody's up for grabs, man. You're gonna have to be like, hey, listen. Yeah.
I mean, listen, when Durant became available, Boston was had there was reports that they were willing to give up Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
that is true.
You know?
I remember him being pissed off about it. So.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Jerrell, did you answer?
What was the question?
Can you build a championship team around these two, or do you just play as well as you can until one of these superstars become available?
I don't like waiting for superstars. I remember you saying that earlier. Like, I hate that. Go get DeJounte Murray, please. Yeah, you do that, and you can build around Julius Randle and Brunson. You just have to put very good basketball players around them. Like, I don't think they need to be superstars, or we should wait for one. We definitely should not wait for one. Like, if one comes available, like AJ said, Devin Booker shakes loose, then yeah, we got to pounce on it. But until then, go get DeJounte Murray. Go get somebody else to come off the bench. And then we'll be cooking with gas until somebody else comes along.
Okay. All right. Delusional.
All right. So I kind of took a look at some of the leagues and what the players that they have. So a lot of them have duos that are pretty much contending on certain teams, like Giannis and Dame. They're averaging around 60-something points. Then you have Tatum and Brown. They're averaging around the 56 to 60 points. And then, of course, you look at Brunson and Randall, where they at. They're around the low 49, the 55, 58 when you put up their total. So they're right there, numbers wise. Doesn't have the same effect on the floor, but if you look at number wise, they're up there with some of the top tier guys and their duo numbers. So for me to say that these two guys, there's some doubt, but what I'm seeing now, and when you put, like you stated, put a nice team that complement the style that Tibbs want to play. Because remember, this is all Tibbs. What he put on the floor, this is how these guys are playing. This is, if they put certain players around them, it's 100%. So I'm going to say yes. With the combination of Brunson and Randall, they can be the A1, the AB, or the B, A, and B 2 on a championship team. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, I bought in.
I thought you was gonna say no, Queen.
No. I bought in. I think you can. I just think your number 3 and number 4 have to be. They got to be more of an upgrade. One of the things you got to have if you're going to be a championship contender, you got to have somebody that can get a bucket. Things slow down in the playoffs. Oh man, you can't move. It's like being on the subway on the D train. You can't move, and you need to be able to give it to somebody and clear out and say, "Get me a bucket." And I think for both of those guys, we can do that. I think Randall is coming into his own in that respect. That wasn't always his calling card as somebody you can go to in the clutch. He did it last night against Minnesota, I believe it was. Let's just hope that continues because that makes us even more dangerous. But which is why I don't know if Keith Turner is still with us. This is why I think that 2 position has to be upgraded. I don't think this team, as presently constructed, even if we were to improve the bench, can get it done. I think we still need a high-level player at the 2. Even with those 2 guys. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, if first of all, if Randall is playing like this, maybe not. Maybe not. But I'm holding in that regard, and I don't know if this is his floor. Going forward, if we can get, let's just say Levine wasn't making as much money and wasn't injury prone. That type of bucket. Let's just say if Donovan Mitchell played well with Brunson and we weren't concerned about the height, the Knicks would be right. The Knicks would be right there, in my opinion, with those other guys, because their number 3 would make up for whatever those other duos had. That's just my opinion. So I think it can be done. I think the front office just has to get the right players.
Yo, Steph, if we get Murray, I'm gonna start getting nervous because I'm gonna start talking.
Yeah,
heavy. If we get to Dante Murray, man.
So real quick, Jerrell. So sell me Murray. Sell me Murray.
I mean, he's 6'5". I think his wingspan is like what, 6'10", 6'11".
Okay.
Point guard that can actually get his own shot and dish, but he doesn't have, like, even when you see him play with Trey now, he does not have to be the primary ball handler to be effective. Like I already showed you or said, his playoff numbers, he was averaging 23, 7, and 7 on 45% shooting, 38 from the three. So you could do that with Atlanta with just Trey as the primary scorer. Imagine what he can do with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle on the floor at the same time. So combine that on offense with him being one of the best defensive guards in the league. Go get him. Because he's perfect for what Jalen, like to pair up with Jalen Brunson. Like DeJounte Murray can play any two guard in the league at a respective level. So he does not, even though he is a point guard by trade, like originally when he came into the league, like him playing the two in Atlanta showed me that he's capable of doing the two guard stuff along with the point guard duties. And the way we need a secondary ball handler when we played Miami, he is absolutely perfect for what we need to be a team like that.
Okay. Sorry,
I need to be sold too, Delusional, on his ability to get a bucket.
No, I think he could get a bucket now. That's
okay.
I 100% think he could get a bucket. My thing is how he gets his buckets. It's still kind of ISO heavy in a sense. Yes, he can spot up, catch a couple 3 shots here off the pull up and stuff, but he's attacking just like how Brunson attacks.
Oh, we need that though.
Right. But then you got Randall that still needs these touches that he's doing now. So that's 3 guys. So it's similar to us bringing an RJ. Not to say efficient wise, he'll be better. But then what that does to everybody else, that means DeJounte is not knocking down those threes for the spacing that we need because that's not touches for that. OG needs those touches as well. So they're just spotted. So that's why I was like, yes, defensive wise, Tibbs is foaming at the mouth, shaking hands, all that.
Drooling.
100%. Yeah, I didn't even mention Tibbs. Like he's the prototypical Tibbs player. You're definitely right there.
100%.
This is what
I
run
with the second unit, take charge. 100%. But when he's in that starting unit, the spacing sometimes I think can be an issue because
you don't think
you look at his stats.
You don't think he can shoot? That's what I'm saying.
No. He's shooting. He's taking 6 threes a game now.
But look at the percentage compared to what we got with Dante, though. It's not going to be that level efficient where it creates like, okay, I have to stay with Dante. I mean, I have to stay with I have to stay with Dante.
I think it's enough for them to respect it, though. You think they're going to leave him open and crowd the key?
Yeah, he's shooting 38%.
On 6 shots a game, 3 of them off the dribble and 3 off the catch.
Right. So 38 compared to 45 that Dante is doing. If I'm looking at that, if I'm looking at that and I'm a coach, I'm a defensive coach, and Murray's out there, I'm still going to trap Brunson.
Real quick, though, you think that 45% from Dante DiVincenzo could last all season?
Oh, that's sustainable. I know a jump shot when I see a jump shot. That's the look. All right, so I'm gonna tell you why. I was gonna save it for my show, but I'm gonna tell you why Dante and Brunson works. These guys got years together. Years. Their chemistry is better than Hart's chemistry.
I agree with that.
Yep.
And his jump shot, even Iggy, when he was on his show, Iggy said, no, your jump shot is effortless. You don't even use your legs. So when you're tired, you can still get that shot off. And it's still clean.
So you would suggest, okay, so Dante we don't need an upgrade at the 2.
No. I just needed a selling point. It's like,
Okay,
I want the car. I want this car. But it's like this all-wheel drive. Okay, cool. It's hitting checks. It's hitting checks. But for me, maybe it's because I'm leaning to more of a DeMar DeRozan, where he can be that cheap 2-year rental that you can, or 1-year rental. All right, so I'm gonna give you my master.
He don't even. Well, hold up now. If you don't think they're gonna respect Murray's 3-point shot,
well, because I think it's gonna run totally different. It's gonna run totally different.
They're not gonna respect. DeMar's 3-point shot either. But this, before you say your point, because I don't want to lose it. Y'all know my condition. I think when Murray's handling the ball, Brunson can become more of a catch and shoot guy. So I don't feel like, and I think Randall as well can space. I don't think they're gonna leave Randall either. So I think all three of those guys can play on and off the ball. So when Randall has it, DeJounte Murray can space, Brunson can space. When Brunson has it, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem with the shots, because I think all three of those guys can create for themselves and create for others.
Right.
So I think that part will be okay. OG, you got to create for him.
Yeah.
But those three guys can create for themselves and others. But go ahead. Let me get to the super chat and then you
get to the super chat.
All right, Stugger, I appreciate you. We need 8 interchangeable players to mix and match. That would be great. I'm all for it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's the whole roster. So it's basically
we had that at one point. Remember, we had like 5 power forwards on the starting line.
That's not what Paris meant. Like, that's definitely not what he meant.
Oh God!
Damn, 5 power forwards.
But go ahead. You was gonna say something else.
Well, no, I might save my master plan for my show, Queen.
Okay, all right.
Plan for the show. You had it, Queen. You had it.
Oh boy.
But yeah, no, good point with Murray. In a sense, yeah. But I just think maybe it's me thinking like, you know, he's younger. He's gonna come with the mindset like, you know, I need to get off as well. Can he buy into the system? I don't know. Like I can see what's the name fitting in a lot more because he wants to win right now. DeMar more say like he wants to win. Like I can fit in this role. What do you need me to do? What can I do? With Murray, not to say that it's not an issue. That you know he played. If you could play in the San Antonio system, I think you can play anywhere, honestly. But he was eager to get out of that. So you know, so it's just like. You going from Pops, then going to Tibbs, it's you know. Then of course it's the whole situation with the what is it, the
Atlanta coach?
No, not even that. His agent.
Oh yeah, Chris. Yeah.
So it's that situation, but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a good fit. It will be a good fit
between DeMar, Levine, and Murray. You want DeMar
because it also gives you flexibility.
Okay,
you know, it gives you that flexibility where everybody else is kind of in longer contracts. DeMar could be that rental to where okay, you could kind of free up that money because there are free agents, D3 free agents or free agents that's out there that you can still make more moves. A la if LeBron opts out of his player option.
Stop. Now you playing like
delusional.
Now you delusional. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it to us. We do that every year.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody else? DeMar, D. Murray, or Levine?
I think it's clear Murray for me for all the reasons that I said before. Ajay, you got a preference?
I don't. Why are we still talking about Zach LaVine?
Because he might be available.
Well, he's 100% available.
Why people acting like Zach LaVine can't play basketball?
He don't want to be here though.
I mean, that's a different story.
Well,
yeah,
that's until they mend the situation. They're going to sit down.
Right, they about to sit down and have some tea.
Yeah,
they have a beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the only thing about LaVine to me is like his relationship between him and Tibbs, how it was. Like nobody knows that except for them.
Right.
So that would get him here or not get him here. I don't think it has anything to do with New York per se, but you never know.
I'm with you, Mike.
So, is he a better 2 or a better 3? Zach?
2. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's a 2 guard.
He plays the 3 though sometimes.
Him and DeMar, they're interchangeable.
They interchange, right?
Okay.
Because DeMar was a 2, but I think when he went to Chicago, he ended up being a 3 because they had Lonzo, Levine, and him starting. So it could be either or, to be honest. Either of them. And he would play the 2 here because we got OG. Now, if RJ was still here and it would be Levine and RJ, then that's when you will have like a discussion who's playing where because either one of them could be interchangeable, to be honest. Like OG is not a 2 guard at all to me. He's a straight 3. Right. Murray has no 3-point shot. He's shooting. I'm looking at his numbers right now.
You can't remember him from San Antonio. He's developed since then.
And he is shooting 38% and shoots 3. He makes almost 2.5 threes a game. He shoots 6, just like Steph said. So he actually does have a 3-point shot, and he definitely has a mid-range shot too.
Yeah, and he shoots about 3 of them off the dribble, and 3 off the catch.
Yep, he can do both.
6, he could do both.
Listen, man, we played the Hawks. There's one game we played. His mid-range, I wanted to. It was automatic, and he had the smirk on, like he said, "Oh, I could do this all night." He was just run to the top of the key and like he had like 3, 4, 5 trips. That's what he did. Like I was like, "Oh my god, this guy."
Yeah, like he's not the greatest shooter in the world, but
how much he's shooting this season?
38% from 3
overall.
46.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible at all.
No, not at all. Then I think the last year that he left San Antonio was almost averaging a triple-double with the rebounds and assists. So he can grab boards. Tibbs love a guard that can rebound. So
yeah. He's gonna bring other things. He's definitely more versatile than DiVincenzo. And I love DiVincenzo. Listen, I was spearheading DiVincenzo to get into that starting lineup. Yep. So just because I'm saying an upgrade is not because I don't respect him. I just feel like we're not that top heavy, so we need a Murray, but we need a ball handler. DiVincenzo doesn't really handle the ball, and I've seen him against pressure. He's all right. I don't, he ain't no.
I got a question for you. Were you spearheading DiVincenzo in the starting lineup, or were you just didn't want Grimes in the starting lineup?
No.
Like he wasn't ready.
I wanted DiVincenzo. No. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Anybody in there?
Matter. I just need Grimes out. I don't care who you put there.
Here's the difference.
No, I wanted DiVincenzo. I thought he would handle the ball a bit more than he's handling it now, though. Because the same thing you said, Delusional. I felt like we needed another ball handler. So when they come to trap Brunson, I mean, it's still happening.
Yeah.
They put in what's the kid name? The player name from Minnesota, about 6'10". They put him
6'9", 6'11".
Just pass the ball to DiVincenzo. Let DiVincenzo bring the ball and initiate the offense. So I feel like if you're not doing that, then it's the same thing as with Grimes as far as the ball handling part is concerned.
But then do you think that Tibbs doesn't allow the offense to be interchangeable? Like
maybe
I think that's the issue. I just think Brunson has to start certain. It can't be interchangeable.
Well, if that's the truth, then none of what we talk about gonna work anyway.
We're now going to give Hartenstein more offensive. Like you should have been doing that, Tibbs. What do you mean?
I've been saying that for the longest, Delusional.
So I really think Tibbs,
particularly in that second unit,
you're right. He should have had the ball in his hand. He's been saying that since we got him.
But Quickley is automatic in the pick and roll from a scoring perspective, not necessarily passing. He just in order to feature Hartenstein, then you got to take the ball out of IQ's hands. And IQ's
that's true.
As far as scoring off the pick and roll,
really,
really good to say the least. Now though, well, he's not in the second unit. So.
Can I throw this out there real quick?
Sure,
and it might be far fetched. What about Lance Stevenson off the bench?
I ain't seen Lance playing for. What are he playing now?
He's in the G League. He's in the D League right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like, what he doing though?
I mean, it's not Pacers Lance, but he's still getting buckets, still giving you assists, rebounds, and points, even though it's in the single digits in a sense. But he's still effective.
I always like Lance. I don't know if I like him now, but I always coming up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the answer now, but he can't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like we
know it won't happen, of course, but
how much do you like Deuce? Because he taking his minutes then.
So I really like Deuce because I followed Deuce when he went to the G League and he had put up 30, 10, and 8. You know, but obviously, and like when Queen shut me down every time I brought that up.
No, I'm sorry,
it's the G League.
It's the G League.
You know, and I'm like, and I'm watching because you can watch when a player knows what he's doing, regardless if it's against 8th graders and 10th graders and 12th graders. You still see your sets, you still see your movement, you still got to knock down the shot. You know, so that's why I'm like, I think Deuce can be good, but he's shackled. He's legit shackled. Why? Because when I bring the ball up, who I got to give it to? I got to give it to Randall, or I got to give it to this player. When do I get the ball? When it's 3-4 seconds left on the shot clock. And then I got to find a way. Or is it at a moment where it's just like, all right, I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I don't have driving lanes. Everybody's crowded. Last minute seconds to kind of put the ball up. Those are the situations that Deuce are kind of placed in. But he's still going to give you defense. But he can knock down a corner three here and there. I don't think he's going to be that breakdown player that we're looking for. But I just thought they extended him to pretty much add on a bigger trade later on anyway, so that he actually has money attached to him.
I agree, because I thought it was wow, they really believe. They really believe in McBride. They've been seeing him in practice. He about to get some minutes, and he only played like 7 minutes. So I'm like, you know what?
Nah. I mean, you gotta advertise what you want to get out there sooner or later.
Yeah, I'm not that high on McBride. I like his defense. I think he's getting better at running a team. His handle seems a little better.
Listen.
But you saw him struggling. Somebody was all on him. The ball almost rolled out of bounds.
As soon as it happened, I was like, damn, dude.
I don't know about that handle.
Because I'm rooting for Deuce, but yeah, he ain't ready.
There's nothing they're seeing in practice that we're not seeing. All right. You see all this. Remember a couple of years ago, Tom Thibodeau was like, oh, he's watching the games 3 times. These people, they don't know what they do. Listen, what we're saying is not far-fetched. They're seeing the same things we're seeing. Trust me. Ain't nothing he's doing in practice that we don't know. Deuce is what we see. Okay, he's not ready. He will be at some point, maybe. I don't, but right now he's just not. He's not ready.
Yeah. But is it just that he needs more time? And by both ways, meaning more time in terms of more games to get acclimated, and also more time in the game.
If that's the case, then he missed the boat, because we're past that stage of giving kids minutes to see what they can do.
Yeah, he need to go to like Detroit. He ain't gonna get no minutes on his roster.
Nah.
If that's the case, Steph. But I understand what you mean, though. But if that's the case, it's over for him here. But he just signed a 3-year deal, so they got to have some type of plans for him, unless the plans is just to trade him, which will be weird. So,
well, because don't forget, the reason why we extended RJ was just so we could have money on the books to trade him. Honestly, so I think it's a smart move. And remember, he was ready. He was already gone last year. When you really think about it, he was about to be gone for Donovan Mitchell.
Mike Boy said it looked like it got worse. Nah, I don't think it got worse. But
he said Deuce handle got worse. Come on. It ain't get worse, man. That comes boy gets nigga.
Yeah, it's just definitely situational.
Okay. All right.
Deuce will be fine. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine. He just got $13 million.
Well, we got to see what Flynn does as well. We haven't seen what Flynn can really do for us. So
a Raptor fan told us that if he gets minutes, we're in trouble.
Yeah, it's not right.
Queen. This is it. You see, Queen a Raptor fan, one fan.
It was just a few. It was a few.
I think it depends on what you're looking for from Malachi Flynn. If you're looking for the stuff that Deuce can't do, he can do stuff like that. Yeah. But he can't do what Deuce do though either.
Right.
Like he's not the defender, but he can handle the ball. He can shoot a little bit. But yeah, he's not. Ain't nobody to write home about. But he could take Deuce minutes if that's the question.
We'll see. I just like this that he's bringing the ball up the court and initiating the offense because I'm like, listen, just playing defense is not. You got to be able to run a team.
Yeah,
right.
We can't be let's see. We're not in the let's see stage. We have to know what the guy can do at this point. These guys are hitting their prime. You can't have guys on the team just to see what they can do. You can't.
And he's been in the system for a long time practicing.
Yeah.
Right. See, Ron said give him 10 games. 10 games, though. That's a lot to just be.
Man, listen, man.
Well, I mean, it probably won't be, since IQ isn't here, now is the time for Deuce to shine, though. So if it's any time for Deuce to actually get his minutes up and actually show Tibbs what he can do, now is the time. So this is his 10 games or close.
But maybe what he's saying is not 10 games to learn, so to speak, just 10 games for him to just get comfortable.
Right, with the minutes.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's saying, that he already has the skill. He's capable of running that second team. It's just that he needs some time to acclimate. Maybe that's what Ron is saying. And Ajay, I know you're saying this ain't what I was saying 2 years ago. This ain't no training ground.
Right.
And even worse now because now we're more advanced as a team than 2 years ago.
Paris said they gave RJ 5 years. We just gonna give Deuce like 2.5.
RJ is the number 3 pick. I think that makes a difference.
That is true too.
And to answer Ron, because Ron said Deuce will be fine. Listen, if Deuce makes it, if he make it to the NBA, you're already a good player. You know what I'm saying? It's just where do you play?
We talk about Deuce, right? East Blue Drew said, "I'm so tired of giving Grimes time." We didn't talk about Grimes. That's how bad. That's how much you don't. We talk about Grimes. We was talking about Deuce. He said, "I'm so tired of giving Grimes time."
I think Grimes would be good for us with that second unit. Honestly, if he has the ball in his hands.
Grimes.
Yeah.
You want him with the ball in his hands?
I do. Look, we've been the whole offseason, he's been working with this guy. He's been working with that guy, right? He comes in this year saying that he's ready.
He got worse. First of all, he should actually
wait. Hold on.
He got worse. He got worse.
So delusional. You want to see what he can do? Is that
I want to see what he can do.
Then we passed that let's see what he can do stage. Are you not hearing me here?
2.5 years. He need 2.5 more, yo.
Nah, honestly, because when I look at Grimes, right? So this is no knock on a lot of individuals, but it's like I played the game of basketball, so it's like not to say that none of you guys haven't. I love everybody else.
Exactly what you mean. Go ahead.
So just like when you play the game of basketball, you can see certain mannerisms, certain way a player does things. So when he plays with that starting unit, a lot of those jump shots are rushed shots. A lot, because he feels like he has to force those shots. None of those shots are on balance, straight up him being confident. A lot of those shots, I can guarantee you when we had the RJ and all that, 85 of those shots were rush shots and they were contested. because he's just catching, shooting with who's ever in his face.
That is true.
Right? So that's why I say, let me see when he has the ball, he's in the flow of the offense. He doesn't have the mandatory, all right, I have to force to give it to this guy or this and that. Let him have that. Let me see that. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I know it's not convincing.
Yeah,
I know
yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Let me see.
I mean,
let me
listen,
see.
If we're talking about a championship contending team, McBride is not even on the roster, right?
True.
But if we're talking about for right now, needing somebody to man that second unit, if you feel like he can do it, I mean, I totally
No,
get
I
it.
didn't. I didn't say
about Grimes.
I just said I want to see.
Are you talking about Grimes?
We talking about Grimes. Yeah, we talking about
Grimes. With the ball in his hand in the second unit.
About Grimes.
Just like they gave him the ball. Remember they gave him the ball in the summer league. They pretty much gave him the ball in summer league.
He was very inefficient in the summer league.
That's why I didn't.
That was a few years ago.
True.
Listen, I'm all right with whatever they decide to do with Grimes. Apparently he has handles and he has all these things. I mean, let's see.
Let's see. That's my whole thing.
He'll have ample opportunity, but it says something when you've been practicing for 18 years and you only getting 18 minutes a game, and we having problems in that second unit.
It's just fit though.
Steph get wild when it get almost midnight. Steph, you know.
Let me tell you, it just fits. So look at
for 18 years and still can't play.
And he's still only getting 18. Like, did you be like, we shipped out 2 players? If you was balling out, you'd be like, okay, this is your time to shine. He's still only getting 18 minutes.
I just think it's legit fit, you know, because like I said, when Dante came in, it just fit, you know. He was getting the same shots, but they weren't as consistent. He was wide. Dante be wide open on a lot of shots when you really think about it, compared to Grimes' shot selections and stuff like that. So it's just fit. He knows where Brunson is going to, and Brunson looked for him to be.
Yeah, they wasn't looking for Grimes. They was looking Grimes off. They were looking Grimes off.
Dante gets the looks, and you know why? Because he's a veteran. He's known for knocking it down, and they have more confidence in him. So yeah, I get it.
You know, when you know what it is about Grimes, I always like Grimes. I like I like IQ. I just didn't like either of them to not slingshot they butt out of here for somebody better. That's all. I'm just not attached to him. Right. I like Grimes in college. I liked him in high school. I liked him when I was glad we drafted him. I was glad we drafted Deuce because I remember watching him in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. But that don't mean I can't get rid of him though. That's all. Jerrell. Like I'm not attached to him. Like I'll slingshot Grimes to Atlanta so fast for Murray and some picks or something. But yeah, like it's not like I hate him. I want him off the team though. Like,
we all know Grimes is not going to be on this team.
Jerrell said he liked IQ. Listen,
I did.
The minute we signed DiVincenzo, you spoke IQ out of here into existence.
No, but that doesn't have anything to do with me liking him though.
Just reading the tea leaves.
It was just common sense to me. Like they got somebody.
You made it happen. You made it happen. You spoke into existence.
So they signed a dude that is his measurements, that plays his position, that's signed a contract that's worth half of what he's going to get with the almost same production. He was out of here as soon as they signed Dante DiVincenzo.
And DiVincenzo has been, I don't know if you guys remember in the beginning,
killing too.
I said, somebody said, DiVincenzo, he's not going to be that much. He's been in the league for 6 years already. He's already at his ceiling. But I remember reading somewhere where they was like, an article. They didn't think DiVincenzo had reached his ceiling because there was a lot of injuries throughout his career. And they felt like he still had another level in him. And my goodness, I mean, this is what you need when there's an open shot. It's going down more often than not. Yeah.
When he won a championship, he didn't really win it. He didn't even play.
Yeah.
Because he was hurt. He was hurt that whole playoffs.
Yeah, he was.
So his championship ring, don't get me wrong, he earned it because he was on the team and he was on the team the whole year. But he didn't even play during the playoffs. that year when they won the championship. So he never really got his shot when it came to the playoffs. And what he did with Golden State, but he wasn't there that long. And playing behind Steph and Clay and all the other guards they had with Jordan Poole and stuff, he wasn't gonna get the shine there either.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean I don't want DeJounte Murray though.
Right.
That don't mean I don't want him though. But yeah, Dante's cool.
Listen, shout out to the chat, man. Listen, we only 26 likes away from 200. Hey, it's some people.
That would have. I think that would be a record.
Yep.
Yeah, we rocking tonight.
We still have more. We have 200 people still in the chat. People holding back, man. Come on, man. Smash that like button.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's hit that 200.
It's almost a 3-hour show.
It's a 3-hour show, man.
A full show. We're not even stretching it.
Right.
I don't want to say it, but it's because
Delusional first show back.
I don't know about that delusional. I got there's a guy.
See, look.
Listen, there's a guy in the chat. Shout out to Apollo Williams. He said, "Listen, delusional Knicks fan is the problem. The Knicks."
Yo, pull it up,
Still want us to
Queen.
I don't see the rest of the.
He said, "I got delusional part of the problem."
Look, the crazy part is I saw it and was just going to ignore it. And
I saw it too. I didn't want to put
AJ gonna hate because now Jay Boogie didn't put his name in the song. You didn't even hear the lyrics yet. You already hate.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
This is when you was talking about McBride and Grimes and how they it was like, nah, you part of the problem.
That was exactly because of Grimes.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you part of the problem.
I had way more fire takes all day, but that way I go,
right?
I love it.
It's a 3-hour show. They gonna remember that.
Oh no, I love it.
They gonna remember that.
Now, Mike Boy, how did he just got off the plane? New York Knicks is just too much for. Oh, I thought that was OG. I was like, come on.
I thought that said OG too. See, it's almost midnight. Mike, Mike Boy. We almost jumped on you, but you're right though.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Steph on that note, alleged time. 3 hours.
Yeah. See, that's what Ron got a superpower though. Ron sit there and look at that camera for like 5 hours on a calm Sunday or a Saturday. I'll be like on a regular Saturday.
Yeah. Before I went live, I used to watch Ron. I still do, but I'll be like, look at this guy.
Yeah, Ron be like here with it the whole time.
Right at the camera, like he talking right to you.
Professional.
And the deep voice to it, the mic.
Right. And carry the whole show by himself. That's a skill right there.
On a Saturday afternoon.
100 a skill.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I'll be in the grocery store listening to Ron, yo. That's
I be driving.
Yep.
I go out, come back. Ron's
still on.
Right. Yeah. Get you through your cleaning of the house and all the chores and everything.
Shout out to Ron, man.
Yep.
Oh, shout out to Ron. Any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat. It's almost midnight. We had a 3-hour show. You know how we do Thursdays, man. The chat, the reason why these shows are so long. The chat is the reason why these shows are so long because y'all give us content. Because sometimes we don't be having nothing to say up here.
Right.
The chat is what makes the show, man. Yeah. Of course, with the panel and Steph being as good as she is, but yo, Steph, you hardest working woman in Knicks content creation. Let's just say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chat is always good. It'd be the same people here every week, and that's why when I say salute, I mean it.
Yeah, definitely.
And thank you guys for hanging with us, man. 3 hours, man. That's no joke.
Yeah, 3 hours, and we still got 206. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button. That helps the algorithm, and that gets the show out to more.
Look at that.
To more eyes.
Paris crazy. Paris said he paid us to do that. He paid us.
This is why I know Randall is on another level because Paris is like,
yo.
Paris is like, oh,
spent $2 to big up Randall too. That's crazy. Paris, my guy, man.
Appreciate you, Jerrell. But he's focusing more on the mental part of his game. So I hear you, Paris.
Right.
Tomorrow's a great game, man. It's a great measuring stick for us tomorrow. See where we're at.
Steph, we didn't even talk about the damn game. That's cool.
I know. I want to see if there's a Philly game during the day this season, so we can go there and have a watch party, Jerrell.
Oh, that's what's up.
If it's during the day.
Yeah, we go show up somewhere
in Philly,
because I definitely drive up. Yeah, if it's a day
that would
game,
be nice.
Yeah, I'm like a half an hour.
Right?
I'm like a half an hour away.
Yeah, let's do it. So we gotta see if they have a early game
or a weekend game.
Or a weekend game, yeah.
A weekend game, preferably.
Yeah.
Because that's a long drive for y'all to go back.
Ain't not but 2 hours. Oh yeah, especially me driving in the dark.
Yeah, it's gonna be, by the time you get home, it's gonna be dark.
Yeah. That's why I said an earlier game. Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Salute. Listen, we got 204 in the chat. Hopefully everybody is subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you guys dropping by. Subscribe, hit that notification button, because if the Knicks make another trade, I'm going to the movies tomorrow. This is where the last trade dropped. I was at the movies. But I'm gonna keep it on vibrate this time. Keep it on vibrate.
Oh, that might be it though, Steph. You going to the movies don't get us DeJounte Murray. So we get DeJounte Murray tomorrow. Steph is in the movies and she the one did it.
Right.
She was in the movies when we got OG.
Yeah, and I have I didn't even have the vibration off. I cut it off.
Harris got a question.
And I'm steady texting and being ignored. I'm like, Queen, emergency show? What's up?
Yeah. I ain't hear that. Somebody called me. I forgot who it was. Staffer.
Staffer. What are we judging from tomorrow's game? I don't know. I don't think OG been there long enough. I don't think we have OG long enough for us to be like, yeah, Philly will beat us in a 7-game series if we lose to them tomorrow.
Yeah, and we don't have our benches not together. That second unit is not together either. If it was, I think it'd be a better judge. Delusional.
I still think we're gonna win tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey, that's what's up.
Okay.
Every game we go into, I always think we're gonna win until we get smacked. Otherwise, I'm going.
I always say we're gonna win. Yeah,
that's every game. Hey, what do you think next 3 games? 3-0.
Yeah. That would be good. I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing. It's just that we don't have our full complement.
Yeah, so we saying that if we lose, don't worry about it.
No, I'm saying I want us to have our full team so I can get a sense of how we match up with them. Win or lose, I just want to see how we match up with them. Yeah, well, maybe by the next time Alec Burke will be on the team. That's my pick to head the second unit. Cheap, it's not going to cost us a lot to get him. He can hit a bucket. He can man that second unit, and he's clutch.
I just don't want him playing point guard, Steph. That's all.
Why not? He can't be no worse than Quickley. If Quickley kept the ball to himself most of the time when he was in that second unit.
I guess Quickley was at least exciting. Alec Burks is, I don't know, he's just Alec Burks.
Listen.
No disrespect to Alec Burks.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm for it.
Clean over here giving Tibbs idea. I hope Tibbs don't watch the show tonight, man.
Right.
Bring Alec Burke back to man that second unit. We need it.
Well, look, I thought he was going to bring back Noel for the center role, and he brought back Tibbs. So I don't know.
Taj,
that might not be.
Taj.
Yeah, Taj.
Man, that's like comparing dirt to mud. I said that before. Like, God.
Taj found out running across the Brooklyn Bridge is not the same as running up and down the court.
But it's still a good veteran presence in the locker room.
I got support from re-uf.tv. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, if he gets, I'm not gonna be pissed at if we did get.
Yeah, it's not.
It will be an upgrade from what we have now because we don't really have anything now. Especially with we will have to upgrade the
Jerrell.
2 position like we was talking about for Dante to be in the bench for that to happen.
Jerrell, we have Deuce. Thank you very much.
And Grimes. Thank you
You're
very
right.
much.
Grimes. What do you mean
Right.
we have nobody, man? Come on, Jerrell, man.
Yeah, we got Taj. We got Sims too. We got Sims too.
Happy the Knicks are breathing and we are in upgrade mode.
Yep.
Quick question before we go. How do y'all feel Precious can play a role with this Knicks team?
Oh, listen.
We didn't talk about Precious.
They sleeping. Yeah, we didn't talk about Precious, man.
Because for me, looking at certain of the game, Precious was guarding 3s, 4, 5s, knocking out jump shots, doing all of that. But then you see him in our offense, and it's like it's still early.
It's still early.
It's still early.
It's looking bad.
Yeah.
It's looking bad, but he can play. If they bring him into the rotation, like I don't know what Tibbs gonna do, because Tom Thibodeau does what he wants, but he's not. He's
all
not,
coaches do.
I know. Well, no, but he can play. Precious Drew can play. He could be a great backup for Julius Randle.
Yeah. So
and
what's
he can
some of
play
the
the 5?
Yeah,
I said, and he can play the 5. Yeah.
What's some of the Raptor fan? Oh, go ahead, Jerrell.
I was about to say I don't want him playing the 5 though.
I don't.
He can, but he's not good at it.
No, but we don't have the body in there. So it's either him or Jericho Sims. Like, who do you want?
Ugh.
Jerrell, you got to pick one.
I'd put you at center before I put Jericho.
Exactly. So Precious, exactly. So Precious Achua is going to play the 5. We don't have anybody else. Or Taj.
Taj.
Oh no, I would pay Sims before Taj.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
What some of the Raptors fans were saying is that Precious has really good games, but he hasn't been able to put it together. Like you'll see flashes and you'll be like, wow, this guy's going to be he could hit the 3. I think it's like low 30%, but he could stretch the floor a little bit. He could score down low. He could defend out on the perimeter. And like when you see him play, you're like, wow, this guy's really good. But he's never able to put it together for significant stretches of time. That's the knock on him.
So can Tibbs mold that then? Is pretty much the game plan in a sense, because he hasn't. He's still under contract for another year. I think it's like a qualifying offer in a sense or whatever.
He's a restricted free agent.
Oh, he's restricted. Okay.
Yeah, at the end of the season. I mean, listen. The other thing they said is that he misses his spots on defense where he's supposed to be.
I already saw that.
That ain't gonna work with Tibbs.
Nah. Yeah, Tibbs took him right out when he did what happened to. He played him like 2 minutes. That first game, I remember that. But you think because he's home, that might have something to do with his comfortability?
Maybe. Same thing with RJ Barrett, right? That RJ Barrett will play better over there. Maybe Precious Achua will put it together and play better. I hope so.
Right.
Because we can use a backup for Julius Randle.
Right. I mean, you got to think about the trade. The things that we want, we were supposed to have gotten it in that trade. We want a backup point guard and a backup power forward and OG Anonuby, and we got all 3. But are they good enough for what we want, though?
That is true. That's a very good point.
We wanted OG. We wanted a backup 4 and a backup point, and we got all 3 of those things.
Yeah. That's a good point. They haven't figured out how to get shots for OG yet, so it's going to take some time to get Precious Achua going. Yeah, Ron, you right up there with Delusional. Yo, what's wrong with the Knicks fans? No, I'm kidding.
You're the problem. You're the problem.
You're the problem.
You're the problem.
I'm gonna put that on the shirt now, man.
I agree. I want him to do well. He has talent, and that's what I want the Knicks to have. Don't have these low ceiling guys on the end of your bench. Have some high ceiling guys that you're developing and bringing along. So, hopefully, we'll see. He's restricted.
Speaking of that stuff, have you seen Jalen Johnson lately?
Oh my God! I was watching Atlanta.
What's the name the other day? He dunked on somebody.
Banged it on somebody. Then another time came down and hit a 3. And the Knicks just sat there and watched him slide down the draft board.
Yep.
I didn't get that at all.
That was somebody that they were supposed to draft and just not play until he was ready.
Until he was ready. He looked like he's going to. And that's one of the reasons why they want to get right. First of all, I think they should be trying to move off of Trey. Because he's been there for 16 years already. They have not. To me, he hasn't elevated that franchise, but that's their business.
Right.
They want to keep Jalen Johnson, pair him with Trey, move off of Murray. Murray, yeah, they're committing to him, and that's a good move. This kid is good now, and he's only going to get better.
Well, maybe they should move Hunter.
I heard there's some rumors that they were trying to move Hunter too.
I don't see. As a Knicks fan, I don't want Hunter though.
You don't?
Nah.
That's a bigger guard that can.
He can't get his own shot though.
Yeah, he definitely can't.
So if you can't get your own shot, you can't help us right now. Now that we got OG Anonuby, I can't have both wings over there looking like RoboCop.
Waiting for Brunson and Randall.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now we need somebody that's gonna come and take it. Look, it's time for me to get a shot. You know,
right?
But yeah, he looks good. Every time I see him, I'm like, the Knicks could have had this kid.
I'm like that when I see Jalen Doran getting doubles everywhere, and he only 20 years old still.
Mitch can't stay on the floor.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't know if I agree with you though, Queen, with getting rid of Mitch and having Hartenstein. That's
start. If you had to pick like Mitch,
trade him. The only way I'm trading that is if we get Embiid or somebody. But
nah. I think that if you have perimeter defenders, you don't need a rim protecting big, because these other teams out here is making it happen without a Mitch.
Right.
So we can too. And to be able to have a 5 starters that are offensive options, that opens up your and Hartenstein is not a slouch. He's not Mitch now, but he's not a total slouch on defense. So I would take a little drop off in defense for the way that offense and the space that Randall has, and that offense, our offense right now, looking really, really, really good. And plus, Mitch is always hurt.
He got 3 blocks on Rudy Gobert, man. Next time Rudy Gobert plays, he gonna have to think twice about trying to slam.
Right. And Mitch is always getting hurt. So he's putting us in a bind right now, because you probably would have let Hartenstein go, because you probably didn't want to put so much money into the center position. But how can you let him go now?
Right.
So
it's not like I want to get rid of him, but if I had a choice between one or the other, I'm picking iHeart.
Yeah.
But I don't want Mitch to go though.
Right.
But
right. And I was hoping that this would be an opportunity for Tibbs to see a modern offense.
Right.
Like to be able to see what you could do, because he's clinging to Mitch like a blanket, like Linus. But at the same time, Mitch, listen, I ain't taking nothing from Mitch. On that defensive side of the ball, he was playing lights out. The best he's ever played. I'm not taking anything away from Mitchell Robinson. I just think your offense has to be a little better in the playoffs. It has to be a little better.
And if we traded Mitch, I would like to see what we get for him. Now I'm saying it's not like I'm not trading him for like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we do trade Mitch, it will be for something, depending on the position, upgrade somewhere.
Yeah. We'll see. And it's going to be hard to trade Mitch if the Knicks don't want to play both centers. He's injured. So unless you're putting him in a package, you're not going to be able to trade Mitch. I mean, I'll say it was an ankle. People tend to come back from an ankle injury. It's not like it was like a compound fracture or ACL or something. So, they can put him in a package, but I don't think you're going to be able to just trade him, straight up.
Nah.
It's gonna be interesting. I know Boogie wanted Capella. You want Capella, you're gonna have to put Mitch in that trade. I'm not. I could take Capella or leave him. I mean,
yeah, I'm not too high on Capella, especially not. If we're going to compare him to Mitch, I'd rather have Mitch.
Right.
But if it gets us DeJounte Murray, that's a difference. That's a different conversation. Old Head said, salute to Old Head, that's my guy. Mitch for Andrew Wiggins. Some type of trade package.
I like Wiggins. Can he get a bucket though? I like it.
If we didn't have OG,
No,
if we didn't have
is dealing with too much mental issues right now, which is taking away from his game. So I don't think I could do that.
I heard
3 likes away.
Yo, come on.
Somebody log on to their other account and hit that like button.
190 people on the way out, man. Make sure you
log into Die Hard Giants. Get out of here. Hold on.
Get out of here and hit that like on the way out.
Yes. Now, somebody gonna give it. Somebody gonna Yeah, we at 199, Jerrell. You good? Somebody gonna give us that last one.
Hold on.
We had 200.
That was me.
Wow.
That was you? All right.
That was you.
Yeah, I saw it in just that fact. And plus other people do it. Now we at 205.
205.
Well, at least that's what I got.
Congrats. Hold on, we got to bring the horn out.
Yeah, right. I appreciate y'all. And I missed this. I gotta figure out a way to come back, maybe with a lunchtime show. I don't know if I could do the mornings anymore. But maybe a lunchtime show because twice a week is not enough. It's not enough.
You spoil us with that morning show and then you pull it right from under our feet, man.
I know. I
actually put on your head about that morning show.
That was great, man.
It was.
We look forward to that.
Even when she just popped on that time where wasn't it you and Stafford?
Yeah.
That time was like around 12, 1, 2 o'clock. Yeah, that time I'll be on lunch.
She did a couple of shows with Freezy in the middle of the day. I'm like, man,
Yep.
I guess if I could do it without the like all of that production stuff, it takes too much time.
Yeah.
But maybe if I cut down on the slides or something and just keep it simple, it'll be easier. It'll be easier for me.
Yep.
Well, there you have it.
All right. We appreciate you guys. I'll be back Monday on Queen's Court, nothing but Knicks, 8:30 if the Knicks don't play. Oh, our next show is actually going to be on a Wednesday. Did we make that decision? Because the Knicks have multiple games on Thursdays going forward. So I think we're going to go Wednesday next week. But keep your notifications on if we decide to move it to Friday. Just keep it. But I think the Knicks play Friday too.
Hold on, I'm going to check real quick. Yeah, we play Thursday and Saturday. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So it will have to be either Wednesday or Friday.
Wednesday or Friday. All right, keep your notifications on. But I think this will be the last Thursday for this season, and then we will figure out a date, whether it's going to be Wednesday or Friday.
Sounds good.
Right. Until next time, fam. Appreciate you.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
turn. Don't